fans are out en masse. Flashing the L, hoping to put an L on the Syracuse Orange in town. It's senior day here in Louisville. 27 seniors making the walk with their families. Looking forward to playing their final game here on this field. Louisville Cardinals. Some of them, many of them, making that last entrance into Cardinal Stadium today on Senior Day. Fans there to welcome them. The fog present here on this chilly day as the Cardinals emerge from that fog and look to continue their recent strong run this season. Chris Cotter, Mark Kirchlich here at Cardinal Stadium. We'll talk about the Cardinals in a second. The great year they've had. Expectations weren't very great for them at the start of the year. They were for Syracuse coming off a 10-win season. Hasn't worked out for the Orange, though.
Yeah, no, it hasn't. They've been really bad in their offensive line, giving up 46 sacks. That leads the entire country, and 8.8 penalties per game. They're second to last in the ACC. They just have not been able to protect their quarterback, Tommy DeVito.
Meanwhile, Scott Satterfield, in his first year here at Louisville, already has the Cardinals bowl-bound, and they still have 2 games up to play here in the regular season. What have they done so well?
Yeah, that's the exciting part. Scott Satterfield came in and he adjusted the offense. He got away from Bobby Petrino's West Coast pro-style offense, a lot of drop-back passing, and now he's implemented his Appalachian State offense with the run game going east and west. There's some explosive runs up the middle by that man, Javion Hawkins, 1,000-yard rusher already. And then once you decide to load the box to stop him, they throw the ball on the outside to big Des Fitzpatrick, Seth Dawkins, and probably one of the most explosive men in the entire ACC, Tutu Atwell. They have been absolutely stellar offensively, and that's been because Scott Satterfield.
And there's Javion Hawkins right there, already 1,000 yards rushing on this season. Atwell can take it to the house at any time. They've got explosive players all over the field offensively. It isn't just X's and O's, though, that Scott Satterfield has been able to incorporate here and get this team to win. It's also what's happened off the field, and with more on that story, let's send it down to Kelsey Graves.
Yeah, Chris, the success they've had on the field really just a byproduct of what's been happening off the field here at Louisville. Scott Satterfield came in and was able to immediately change the culture, and that's been a big difference this season. We talked to quarterback Mikhail Cunningham, and I asked him what the biggest thing he's learned from Scott Satterfield and this coaching staff is, and he says consistency. It's not just about their play calling or how they practice, but he says since day one when this group got here, they welcomed them with open arms. They took them under their wings, and that meant a lot to this group after coming off a year where they said they sometimes felt like they were walking on eggshells. Changing the culture, definitely the key to many of the wins here at Louisville. We'll see if it's the key to another today.
All right, thanks, Kels. First year for Scott Satterfield. Meanwhile, Dino Babers in his 4th year at Syracuse. Still a lot to play for, though. They could salvage their year by winning their final 2 games and going to a bowl game.
Yeah, and you know that's how he's thinking. He's always a guy, he describes it, thinking glass half full. He's a positive outlook on the season. He did say that, you know, when things are bad in that 4-game losing streak, he had to take off his rose-colored glasses and see some change. And, you know, some change came on the defensive side. Brian Ward was let go. Steve Sternad came in as the interim DC. Syracuse played better last week. Let's see if they can carry that over into this big game versus Louisville this week.
Syracuse won the toss. They will defer to the second half. And that's Hassan Hall, an electric return man for Louisville. Sterling Hoffrichter, who kicks off for Syracuse, will look to keep it out of his hands. Hoffrichter puts toe to leather, and we're underway. Alton gets shot from his own box. He's hit hard at the 23. That's where he'll be brought down. Louisville will take over after Jeff Can't-Argue made the stop. Take a look at Mikhail Cunningham. He's kind of shared some time with Evan Conley this year at that quarterback spot for Louisville, but Cunningham is the type of player that's really put it together. Doesn't throw it very often, but when he does, he's very efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. And last week versus NC State, they even questioned whether they should take him out and put Evan Conley into the second half. They left him in. Mikhail Cunningham, he just comes out second half, throws 3 touchdowns. They think they made the right choice keeping him in the game.
Good looking Cunningham, the sophomore from Montgomery, Alabama. Take to Hawkins. Cunningham on the rollout. Gets his tight end Marshawn Ford. Picks up a good 7 yards on first down.
Well, that's really interesting. Louisville has not been very good on first and second down, setting up a lot of third and longs. They've converted those third and longs, but this is a new wrinkle. You don't see a ton of balls be thrown to that H-back, that fullback position, but Marshawn Ford, he's proved that he can catch those balls. Good pickup on first down.
First 15 catch of the year, second down and 3. Atwell in motion. He's going to keep it. There's a lot of room to run. He picks up a first down.
Number 3,
and this is why he's in the game. This is what makes him so explosive. His ability to play on the ground with his feet in the run game. And you saw there was an unbalanced formation. Everybody on Louisville's offense was on the right side of the line of scrimmage. He just pulls it and goes left. Picked up the first.
Syracuse rush defense, 94th in the country. They gave up 190 yards per game this season. So clearly Scott Satterfield, as you said in the open, they want to run. They want to establish Hawkins' first carry here. Slides off a tackle, picks up a couple.
Yeah, they're going to want to establish the run game early. When we talked to Scott Satterfield, he made it very clear that they do not do a lot of different things offensively. They just do them really well. And it takes a long time for these running backs and these offensive line to get on the same page, and that just comes in repetitions in practice. And Javion Hawkins has done a really good job of fitting into this system and excelling in that running back spot.
He stood up right there. It's about 9 yards, though. It looks like he'll have enough to move the chains.
And that right there, one of the reasons why it's such good completion percentages is this is a pass. Throws it to Tutu Atwell, but look at 83 out front. We talked about Marshawn Ford getting the big reception on that first play. These receivers buy into the fact that they need to block, and once Tutu gets the ball in his hands, he can go off.
Picks up 9 yards again on first down. Big chunks here on first down for this Louisville offense.
Dwayne Ledford, the offensive coordinator for Louisville, he told us a little bit, he foreshadowed that we might see some more design quarterback runs. Those have been some things that have hurt Syracuse defensively, so they're sprinkling those into the game plan. You already saw 2 design quarterback runs this game on the first drive. That'll probably continue with the success they're having.
Second down and 2. Hawkins. He's at the line of scrimmage. Won't pick up much. Josh Black and company there to bring him down.
And Alton Robinson came from that DN position and sliced inside. He's a guy who's just potential waiting to happen. He has the size and the speed at that defensive end position. And if he can combine everything together, he can be a really good pro prospect.
Third down and inches on this opening drive for the Cardinals. Cunningham's going to keep it. He gets the first down. Robinson is there to make the stop. Now before Cunningham moves the chains once again for Louisville.
It's a good play design. You get the 3 backs in the backfield, and you allow the defense to be a little bit slower. You force their hand a little bit with the patience. And anytime you use patience on defense, you tend to give up 1 or 2 yards, even though that was a great play by Robinson.
Tutu. He makes the catch.
It was not a very well thrown ball by Cunningham. Put it behind his receiver. Andre Sisco, the preseason All-American safety, covering him. And it looked like if he led Tutu out in front, could have had a touchdown. Great job by Tutu Atwell to adjust his body to the catch. Picked up a big first down.
First and goal for Louisville.
Interesting formation. Just out of the fullback.
Hawkins. Stretch it. Nicely tackled. That's out the 7-yard. Ball comes out. And they're going to rule it a fumble. Josh Black recovered the fumble for Syracuse. It looked like the Hawkins might have been down and close to being down the far side of the field mark. And that ball just popped out.
Yeah, we'll have to look carefully. It looked like Miguel Jones, the backup middle linebacker, might have reached in there at the very end of the play. You see number 13 on the back end. Goes in there. It looks like the knee might have been down, but that's exactly what happened. Miguel Jones stripped that ball out, but I do think the knee might have been down.
You can hear the crowd reacting to it. They're seeing it at the same time we're seeing it. Knee looks like it's down there before the ball comes out.
Recovered by the defense. The previous play is under further review.
Our referee Trey Blake telling us that Joe Ryder will take a look at it. Our replay official. We'll let you know their decision when we come back. While we were away, the call on the field of a Louisville fumble was reversed. Let's take another look at it, Mark, one more time.
Yeah, I think this is probably the best angle. You get to see the knee, right knee, touch the ground right there. Ball's still in. And then comes out. Really good job by the replay official. Change the call on the field, and now it's going to be first and goal. And with that, again, Hawkins gains the freshman rushing record in Louisville.
That's Marchand Ford, the Swiss Army knife for this Cardinal team. Puts them up top.
It does. I mean, we mentioned Marchand Ford early. Scott Satterfield said he wanted to get him more involved. Well, he got 3 big plays on this opening drive. This one maybe the biggest of them all, but he comes from that fullback position, and the safety and linebackers are playing in and out on both running backs, and just not enough time for Andre Cisco to get out in the flat. Good job scoring.
And Shalafu puts the point through, 7-0, Louisville on top. Let's send it to the studio for an update. Hopefully we'll check back in with the studio in a little bit. Got a bunch of games going on right now.
Yeah.
So we got some highlights to show you. Keep you up to date on what's happening around the league and the country. Both these teams have done very well when jumping out early.
Yeah, and they have done not very well when the other team scores first. Those are completely flipped around when the other opponent scores first. So Syracuse is going to have their work to do. But I love how you mentioned Swiss Army knife. That's what some of the coaches called Marchand Ford. And the first time Dwayne Ledford, the offensive coordinator, called him Swiss Army knife, he said, "What's a Swiss Army knife?"
Marchand Ford never went camping with a Swiss Army knife, I guess.
No, he didn't. But
never had to use the toothpick or the scissor in that Swiss Army knife.
And so, you know, I'm not going to make assumptions that everybody knows, but Swiss Army knife can pretty much be your utility for anything. Scissors, knife, screwdriver.
File in there, nail file.
Oh, right in your pocket.
Right. If you're out there roughing it up in the woods and you need to file down a hangnail,
yeah,
Swiss Army knife has got you covered.
And there's always a couple things you can't really figure out what they do. But they're just in there.
Mark short, big hole, 30, 40. Out close to midfield, 47 yards on the return, so Syracuse set up in good shape. Let's send it to the studio now for real. Dallin Cuff, my man, standing by.
Thanks, Cotter. Time for your Fansville studio update. Huge game in the Coastal. Virginia Tech hosting Pitt, and Kenny Pickett. Uh-oh, he's in trouble. It's loose. Don't fall on it, as Coach Rick said. Scoop it up. Narell Pollard did that. Takes it in 14-0. The Tech leads right now. Back to you, Cotter.
Pollard, the biggest dude on the field, scooping and scoring for Virginia Tech. The true freshman giving the Hokies the early advantage. Louisville on the early advantage here, scoring on their first offensive drive. Syracuse, though, in good shape for their first drive of the game. Let's see what Tommy DeVito and company can do. A completion already right off the bat. Aaron Hackett, the tight end. Looks like he gave him another first down. Tommy DeVito, he spent a lot of time on his backside this year. We mentioned it coming in. 46 sacks on the year given up by this Syracuse offense. But he's settling in here. When he has time to throw, he can make something happen. Because look at it, he has 146 attempts without throwing an interception.
Yeah, that last one made it 147.
No need, a lot of room here. And just like that, Syracuse now 2 first downs after starting close to midfield. They're moving the football.
Yeah, they are moving the football, and you see them going fast. They're known for their hurry-up type offense. And it's catching Louisville a little bit off guard, not getting everybody set in a position. See them running around right now, getting the line of scrimmage.
Spins at the 20, picks up 9 yards. Long character brings him down, but Louisville now picking up yard chunks.
Going fast again, right to the line of scrimmage.
One man to beat. Steps out of bounds. First down, though, for Syracuse. Russ Yeast on the coverage. Jackson, big play receiver for this Orange team.
And Mo Neal that got involved early. He had 115 yards last week. His 400-yard career games. Good stuff there.
Jackson fitted nicely on the play. Jones broke it up. Speaking of Mo Neal, he had 159 yards on just 8 carries in this game last year.
Yeah, he did. He was a top performer in that game versus a really depleted Louisville defense. Talk about same guys, different result. They really changed up their scheme defensively and had a lot of success. Louisville has.
Second down and timeout for the completion. Vito, good time. It's tight end. Can't make the grab. Luke Benson had a lot of room if he'd come down with it.
Yeah, he did have a lot of room, and Marline Character was in the flat. He got pulled in with Tristan Jackson's slant route. Benson was able to come down with that. He had a free run to the end zone. Now it's going to bring up a big third down. That's one of the problems with going so fast. It comes third down before you know it. All 3 receivers into the boundary.
Whistle's going to blow this one. Get it out to Mo Neal. Whistle did not. Neal was dropped for a loss. Nice play by Rajay Burns.
Well, this is what they're trying to do. They're getting all 3 receivers to the right side of the field and then leaving their back out on the flat. And as this play develops, the inside linebacker reads it all the way. Once those offensive linemen start running upfield, you know it's no longer going to be a pass down the field, and really good job by the inside linebackers.
Good 33-yard attempt. Last year's Groves Award winner is true and puts Syracuse on the board. Both teams scoring on their first offensive possessions of the game. Louisville touchdown. Syracuse gets 3, down 7-3 early.
Day. It is senior day here at Louisville. Louisville up right now 7-3, and you see Tyler Haycraft, really just the epitome of what you want in a student athlete. A 5th-year senior, was a walk-on for 2 years before finally earning a scholarship. He says those first years were tough because sometimes he was a walk-on that was actually playing over scholarship guys. Finally earned that scholarship, and since then has just become a huge part of this team and what they've been able to do on the offensive line. We talked to Scott Satterfield about the journey that he's had, and he says he gets it. He was a walk-on at App State. He said players like Tyler are the glue of football team. They come with nothing, they play for everything, and bring a lot of camaraderie and chemistry to this football team. Tyler Haycraft definitely been able to do that. He said for him, trust the process. It was a hard journey, but if anyone could do it, then everyone would do it. He's enjoying the opportunity he's had for sure here at Louisville.
Yeah, Scott Satterfield and Dwayne Ledford, the offensive coordinator, both have singled out number 60 as one of those seniors that really had a positive impact on this Louisville team this year. You know, these kids recruited by another coach, another position coach. Their senior year, they get a whole new staff coming in, and some of these guys, especially a guy like Tyler Haycraft, have made the transition work for this Louisville Cardinal team. Already bowl eligible with 2 games left to play before the end of the year.
Yeah, and he's the type of guy, you know, they harp a lot on their offensive line, getting to the ball, getting second blocks. He was singled out. He was a guy who's always around the football. It doesn't matter where it ends up at the end of the play. He's a guy who will hustle and get down there. And they circle him a lot in meetings and film rooms saying, if your effort can be like Tyler Haycraft, then you are going to be pretty good.
Hometown kid trying to pave the way for this Cardinal team on their second drive. Hawkins didn't get very far on first down, now second. Cunningham flushed. Pump and look to run. Throwing that football like a loaf of bread out here. Won't pick up any yardage. Kendall Coleman tracks him down. These 2 defensive ends, Coleman and Robinson, amazing.
Yeah,
Coleman has 41 starts and Robinson 32 in their careers.
Yeah, that's the right word. And look at 55 in the middle of your screen. He's on a loop stunt, comes around, and you just talk about effort. You know, we talked about effort for Louisville. But one of the things that Dino Baber said was that if you want to look at a guy who puts out more effort than anybody else in the field, look at number 55, Kendall Coleman.
3rd and 10 now for Cunningham and this Cardinal team. They're putting it together so far in this second drive after taking the first all the way down and scoring. Pressure coming. Cunningham gets rid of it. Incomplete. He was looking for Des Fitzpatrick on that play. And Christopher Frederick was there to break it up.
Yeah, Syracuse brought pressure up the middle. Lakeem Williams led the way and got his hand in the face of Mikhail Cunningham. And that's one of the things that Syracuse did so well last year, was bring that pressure up the middle and force the quarterbacks to funnel either to their right, go to Alton Robinson, or to the left and Kendall Coleman. And that resulted in a bunch of sacks for those two DNs. Good job on that third down by Syracuse.
Senior Mason King punting it away for Louisville. Sean Riley to get it. He fumbles the football, muffs it, still free, and it's going to be picked up by Louisville. They'll blow it dead there because you can't return a muff. But Yasir Abdullah was able to fall on it, and the Cardinals get a great turnover.
Yeah, and Sean Riley has so much experience back there.
Feeling that the kick was muffed, covered by the kicking team. Be first down, Louisville.
And Sean Riley, so last year versus Louisville, he fumbled a punt return in the first quarter of that game. Well, he muffs one in the first quarter of this game, and they know that's got to be in his head. And we'll see how he bounced back, but he is the career leader in kickoff returns and return yards for this Syracuse team. He is a guy who's a senior, had a lot of experience. That was one you just should get away from. The big play by Louisville and their special teams.
Looking to throw on first down. Has a receiver open. That's going to be a score. On senior day, it's the senior from Columbus, Seth Dawkins.
Yeah, wow, what a good play by Seth Dawkins and patience by Mikhail Cunningham. If you watch this play develop, really good job on the outside. It's a stacked receiver, and he releases up and inside, and then kind of a little stalk block route by the up man, and that freezes the safety. So as he comes in, just pops out, and Andre Sisco thinks it might be a run with the block, and really good play by Mikhail Cunningham to just put it out there in front of him and let him come down with a touchdown.
Shalford with the point after try. The Cardinals extend their lead 14-3. 27 seniors celebrating today. None of them greater than Seth Dawkins. There's the Cotter and Riggs here in Louisville. 14-3 our score. Cardinals taking advantage of the turnover on a punt. Seth Dawkins scores his third touchdown of the year. 14-3 on Syracuse.
Whether it's intentional or not, but good play call to get their senior, big touchdown on senior day. Really good play for that touchdown by Seth Dawkins. He's been such a leader in that wide receiver room that has had so much production.
James Turner kicking off the Cardinals. Take over at their own 25. Time now for Food Lions Food for Thought. We talked about how the Syracuse team had given up so many sacks all year long, 45 before last week's game, so they shuffled things around a little bit on that offensive line, Mark, and it seems to have worked.
Yeah, only one sack last week, and it looks like they did a really good job. They brought Aaron Serveus into center, which he's probably their best player, and then they moved him out to tackle. Carlos came into center, and they have really been playing very well up front with those changes.
O'Neal up the middle. He's had some success running the football. Had some big holes to run through. Picks up about 5 on first down. Rajay Burns brings him down.
That was right behind Carlos Federella, who they said they didn't really want to make that switch to move him to center until they had the bye week, because there's so much that goes into playing that position. They go blind roll with the adjustments. He's done really well.
That's a back.
You guys talked a little bit about that transition that Carlos made, and that was something that he was definitely prepared for. What he couldn't prepare for, though, was what happened just a few weeks ago. He lost a friend that he'd had since middle school, which was Zach Winston. He's the younger brother of Cassius Winston, very well-known basketball player at Michigan State, died by suicide, and Carlos said it was really tough for him when he got the news. He said the main thing that you learn is you can never really judge what someone's going through. From the outside, you think things are okay. He said he's learned to definitely be a lot more aware. And he says he's trying to honor Zach now throughout the rest of the season. Hopes to one day get a tattoo in his honor. It'll say LLZ, long live Zach. Says obviously a very tough situation, but trying now to not take anything for granted and to always be willing to reach out, to make time for other people. They hadn't been in contact recently, but he says he wished they had.
All right, thank you, Kels. It's a tough story right there. Syracuse now having to go off the field offensively again on 3rd down after a nice stop by this Louisville defense. Sterling Hoffrichter's punt goes out of bounds. The officials will mark it. Louisville ball when we come back. At 7:30, week 13. Yes, week 13 of the college football season rolls along. Duke and Wake Forest, our ACC Network primetime matchup presented by Geico. It's also available on the ESPN app.
Jamie Newman's been having a great year for Wake Forest. Not too successful as of late, but what he's been done the whole season, and he's been missing some of his key guys on the outside. Sage Sarab got injured. Scotty Washington was injured as well. And even with that, he still leads in yards per game. It's been a great season at that quarterback spot for Wake.
Cunningham now rolling into the backfield. That's 2-2. Nice design play on 1st down. 13 yards. They'll move the sticks and into Syracuse territory.
That's just, it's a byproduct of what Scott Satterfield's offense does so well. It's the stretch to the left, the stretch to the right, and then once you get everybody running in that direction to defend the run game, you hit them with the oopsie-doops, the uh-oh, someone coming back across your face. Good job, good pickup by Tutu Atwell in that play.
Give to Hassan Hall, a lot of room for him to run. Big hole inside the 40. 8 yards on the carry for 1st down for Hassan Hall. Give him a little bit of a change of pace. Hall a little bit of a bigger back than Javian Hawkins.
And watch the linebackers. They have to run left and right. They shuffle 2 or 3 times before they can go downhill, and that's what's so good about this offense. You get your offensive linemen moving, the big boys moving, and if you're not downhill right now at that linebacker position, you have no chance.
Fake to Atwell. Cunningham looking to throw off his back foot, just heaves it up. That one might get picked. And 2 Syracuse defenders went for it. Drops incomplete.
Well, sometimes you get lucky. And Mikael Cunningham got lucky on that one. Really good pressure up the middle by Alton Robinson again. And he gets drilled, just throws it up there. It's almost worse that there were 2 defenders in the area. Usually 2 are better than 1, but in that case, you only want 1 guy there. Couldn't come down with the interception.
Evan Foster and Antoine Cordy, as you see Cunningham just getting drilled. Alton Robinson nailed him.
I love that face mask.
That is old school right there.
I love it.
Give the Hall, bounces it outside. 30. Down to the 28-yard line, 1st down.
When Javian Hawkins goes out of the game, you think he might be able to take a deep breath. Well, nope. Hassan Hall comes in, and he has just as much explosive ability as Javian Hawkins. He actually came into camp as the starting running back, got banged up a little bit. Javian Hawkins, the redshirt freshman, took over that job. Hassan Hall is no slouch at that position. Been really, really good in the return game. Huge game versus Wake Forest. Kick return for a touchdown, another 83-yard kick return. Another good player in this Louisville offense.
And another 1st down for the Cardinals. Hall. Into the 2nd level to the 20. Brought down after a 9-yard gain. This Louisville team has just dominated this 1st quarter here. We're 2.5 minutes left to go, Mark. And Syracuse gave them a break with that turnover on the punt, but they've owned possession, and they've had 3 drives now marching down the field.
Yeah, they have. And so much of what we've seen from Louisville's offense has been these explosive plays, not a ton of elongated drives, but they've done a really good job of just staying consistent and picking up chunk yardage down the field.
Cunningham rolling. He'll keep it. Nothing doing that time. Evan Foster with a nice job of staying home and bringing him down. And he'll bring up a 3rd and short.
Well, I saw that one-on-one matchup, and we talked to Mikhail Cunningham. I said, if you were a Madden player, what would you give yourself 99s on? He said his juke move. Well, I don't know if he was set up for that one. That didn't look like a 99 juke. We'll see. We'll see if he can come back and hit him with another one later. But good tackle on that play to get him down.
3rd and 1. Cunningham will keep it. Tries to get the edge. It does. Inside the 10. Inside the 5. He'll score.
Well, the other category he said he'd have a 99 on is acceleration, and you saw him turn that corner and accelerate. Something so good at that quarterback position. You cannot do it without blockers. And you see number 7, Des Fitzpatrick, big wide receiver. They take so much pride in that wide receiver position at extending plays. That time they got their quarterback Cunningham into the end zone for the touchdown.
6th touchdown on the ground this year for Mikhail Cunningham. Shalafu with the point after try, and it looked like Cunningham might have been shaken up just a little bit at the end of that play. We'll have to keep an eye on him as he puts his coat on, his overcoat on the sideline. Take a look at this play.
Yeah, and as the blockers come around, you get your quarterback just leading the way around the edge, and the defense isn't able to get in front and outside of those lead blockers. Again, Marshawn Ford, big number 83, Swiss Army knife, blocked 2 guys on that play, and they're not always knockdown blocks or pretty blocks.
Just chipped them.
Yeah, just chipped them. I think Coach always used to say, all you have to do to block a guy is keep him from getting between you and the runner, and that's what he did on that play. Look at that, 6 for 8, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not a bad start to this day. Last time we were here versus Virginia, in the 2nd quarter, they put in Evan Conley, and Mikhail Cunningham had a couple big plays early, and the offense kind of stalled. And that last run is really why Mikhail Cunningham is the starter and consistently playing for this Louisville team, because he adds so much on the ground game with his ability to pick up yardage and scores.
Art Jordan back to return this kick. James Turner will let it fly for the Cardinals. Sails into the end zone for a touchback. Syracuse, we talked about at the top of the broadcast, Mark, coming into this year, winning 10 games last year, so expectations were high for Dino Babers and the Orange to kind of be that team now behind Clemson in the ACC. Remember the big win against Clemson a couple of years ago? Last year, as we mentioned, 10 wins. What would they do for an encore? Well, they didn't get off to a great start, and they lost 4 games in a row before last week's win.
Yeah, Dino Babers said it's inexcusable. We have too much talent on this team to go 4 games in a row and lose all 4 of those. And you see kind of the differential in that stat. Where they started and where they've ended, they have just not produced the way that they have wanted to. But also they're being very deliberate about making some key changes to turn that around.
Abdul Adams, the big-time recruit who originally went to Oklahoma and transferred here to Syracuse, now in the game at tailback. Gets the carry on first down, picking up 5 yards. There's a look at Adams. Again, now bounces it outside, cuts it back inside. Nice run for a first down.
Yeah, great run. I remember when he first transferred to Syracuse, and I remember his first debut was in the Camping World Bowl against West Virginia. He just comes out first game, 2 touchdowns, no big deal. He's a playmaker.
Harris still in bounds, now stepped out of bounds. Syracuse is going to want to go really quickly, as you can see, but Harris is able to make something happen after the catch, pick up yet another first. Or he's close. No, didn't get the first, pick up 9 yards. Look where he stepped out.
Yeah, it's like the pinky toe on that left foot. Snapped here. I don't know what happened. Yeah, but it looks like the center might have false started and snapped the ball early, but
Vitarella was the only one who went.
Yeah. It doesn't result in a flag, but usually it's just a loss of down because the quarterback has to figure out what to do.
Which was nothing in that case.
Which was nothing.
Clock ticking to 0 here at the end of the first quarter. A very fruitful quarter for the Louisville Cardinals on Senior Day. They'll take a 21-3 lead into the second. Let's see what Syracuse can do. Another offensive drive for the Orange when we come back. First quarter controlled by Scott Satterfield and the Louisville Cardinals, up 21-3. You can see time of possession and yardage. Very balanced, too. 91 yards through the air, 75 on the ground. Jordan for Syracuse brings it into Louisville territory to pick up a first down.
You talk about the type of guys that they have in this backfield. They have a lot of guys. I mean, Jordan's a true freshman guy. He comes in, he had some explosive firepower. He's small, only 167 pounds, but he's lightning fast. And then you have Mo Neal and Jarvion Howard, two big guys.
There's Mo Neal here. Puts his head down, picks up a couple. Abdul Adams, pardon me, the carry.
And it's interesting, we haven't seen Jarvion Howard yet at running back. He had a big breakout game last week with 115 yards on the ground. He hasn't been in yet. Give more carries to Abdul Adams.
Russ East, one of the big hitters out of that secondary for the Cardinals, standing him up.
It was a good job by the linebackers and safety working together on that one. Anytime you have pullers or fullback or tight end lead blocking, someone needs to spill them, go underneath, someone needs to come over the top, and the other one fills the lane. Really good play by Russ East to get downhill and do just that.
Wholesale substitution for both teams here on 3rd and 6. Just 4, but they get pressure. DeVito now will look to run. 40, 35, inside the 35, 13 yards for the first down.
And Mike Lynch, the offensive coordinator for Syracuse, is just so happy with that last play. Didn't get exactly work out perfectly, but one of the things he's been harping on Tommy DeVito to do is have a clock in his head. If the play doesn't work on schedule, pull the ball down and run. He has the ability to do that. He did on that last play.
That's bad. Picks up 8 on first down, give him 7. Monte Caban brought him down. A little bit of confusion, though, substitution-wise, too, for the Cardinals defensively.
Yeah, I think they thought Syracuse subs. They tried to sub a couple people, but Syracuse went fast.
I'm on their heels a little bit. I know where they went on that play. Tavarius Peterson alongside with Dorian Etheridge there making the stop.
Yeah, number 9 and number 17. Watch number 9 get right under this lead block and 17 loop around. That is picture perfect defense. That's when we talk about spilling and filling. You spill the guard and then fill the hole.
3rd and 2 for the Orange. Had issues this year on 3rd down. Just under 37% as a team.
Wide receivers move into the box. Maybe kind of the blockers.
Adams lined up that snap. Threw off the timing. See what Adams can do. Gets his head down, getting close, but won't get there.
Yeah, he's going to be stopped short. They brought the wide receivers in to get an extra block on the outside. Just a bad snap up front, and that's another one of those things with a new center. Carlos Vetterillo, those snaps could be a problem. Now 4th down, they're going to go for it.
And they bring in the big fella, Rhino, Chris Elmore, number 5
big
in the
boy.
backfield. DeVito hands it to Rhino, and he comes close to the first down. They may have to measure this one. He thinks he got it. Nasir Abdullah came crashing in to make the stop, and that ain't easy on big old Chris Elmore.
No, Chris Elmore he's 295 pounds. That's a
Timeout
big
for an injured player.
Back.
Chris Elmore is down. We'll find out his condition when we come back. 21-3 our score, second quarter. First down for Syracuse on that last play. Chris Elmore, Rhino, running it for the first down, but he got popped.
Yeah, and Abdullah comes off the edge. Just a really good stick. And sometimes you get your head snapped like that, you strain a nerve, leads to a stinger. Kelsey, you said you saw him coming off. What'd you see?
Yeah, I'm standing right by the medical tent right now. He's in there getting checked off, but he walked off the field right at me. Looked like he was holding that left shoulder arm area kind of gingerly. We'll wait and see what happens when he comes out.
All right, thanks, Kels. Fake to Neal. DeVito keeps it. Picks up maybe 2.
And at the end of the replay, you can see Chris Elmore kind of moving his hand, trying to get feeling back. And to me, that leads me to believe it's a stinger, just a nerve pinch within his neck. But sometimes, you know, nerves are tough to heal. I had a couple stingers. It's all about strength. If he can get strength in his arm, he can come back and play, but still to be determined.
DeVito, the kicking deal, cut down at the line of scrimmage. Etheridge again, he's made a ton of tackles so far today.
They're continuing to run these pulling guards, these gap schemes up front where they're doubling a guy and pulling someone from the backside around. And the linebackers for Louisville are doing a really good job of reading their keys and getting the ball carrier. And they're setting up very long 3rd down in the red zone, and it's starting to get to the point where Syracuse needs to convert some of these to get 7 points rather than 3.
DeVito pumps, now rolls, just throws it away. We're going to get a late flag, too. DeVito may have gotten hit late. The officials all converged over where DeVito went out of bounds right at the Cardinals sideline, and a flag came out late. Let's check it out.
Watch the very end of this play. Well, as you see the hands extend, Monty Montgomery, Will linebacker, kind of gives a little extracurricular.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 7. Penalty is half a distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, it's a lot of times you hear unnecessary roughness and you think about something egregious, but this is the definition. This is an unnecessary thing. Right there, he extends and pushes him and gives him another little shove.
The second one was probably what brought the flag.
You know, it's unnecessary. And he's saying, why me? Dude, he was already out of bounds. You hadn't even touched him yet. Keep your hands off. Extends the drive for Syracuse.
Mo Neal now out wide at the top of your screen. Empty backfield. DeVito and Syracuse, fresh set of downs here. 1st and goal. Pressure coming. DeVito flushed again. Tried to get it to his tight end. Another flag comes out.
Louisville was in man-to-man.
Holding, offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
And Louisville was in man-to-man coverage and really took everybody away. Tommy DeVito had to scramble around and watch the right side of your screen. Right there, you get the hand up in that neck area, and you're grabbing, you're fighting, and it's tough on offensive linemen when the quarterback gets out of the pocket when it's not designed, because your hands leverage might be good initially, and then you get called into a holding.
Jonathan Bergeron, the Canadian, the true freshman, guilty of the infraction, so it's 1st and goal from the 20. Fake to Neal. Wide open over the middle is the tight end. He'll score. Aaron Hackett's 6th touchdown of the year for the Orange.
Wow, really good play design. And you get the tight end in the backfield. You watch him right here. And as he releases, he comes right through the line of scrimmage, and he looks like he might be blocking, and the linebackers just feel of him as a lead blocker, and he sneaks in behind. You call that like a tight end pop pass from the backfield. This is some of the hardest plays to cover as a linebacker.
Schmidt with the PAT, and that ends a 16-play, 75-yard drive for Syracuse. Aaron Hackett, junior from Venice, Florida, finishing it off. We got a new ball game here, folks. Thank you, DC. Huge game there in Blacksburg. If Virginia Tech wins and they're on their way, you can see it sets up a winner-take-all for the Coastal next week against Virginia. Virginia team that Virginia Tech has beaten 15 years in a row. Man, that would be sweet for Virginia to end that streak, wouldn't it?
That Commonwealth Cup game, that'll be an interesting one. And you remember last year, Virginia was so close to beating them. They just fell short. Man, that would set up to be a really fun week of football. See who finally emerges from that Coastal chaos.
Touchback here. You think about it, too. The only thing that makes a rivalry game better is when there's something really meaningful on the line, and that's what we would have next week between Virginia and Virginia Tech. the right to play Clemson in the ACC championship game in Charlotte the following week.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and you see that those percentages to win, and obviously, you know, they'll be altered mid-game right now with Virginia Tech on top of Pitt, but you know, if that one ends the way it's trending right now, man, there's going to be a big night of football in Virginia.
Syracuse offense coming off their longest drive of the season in terms of plays and time of possession to get a touchdown, much needed touchdown. So let's see how Louisville responds. And Cunningham's going to respond in time.
There's that juke move. There it is.
There it is. That's the PlayStation 99. Lakeem Williams brings him down, but not before a 21-yard gain on first down.
Oh, he hits him. He hits him with the right trigger, the juke move. Again, brings everybody inside one-on-one. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Antoine Cordy ain't going to want to see that in the film room.
No, and I can...
It's a slick turf here,
I will
too.
say it's a little bit slick. We want to make a lot of excuses, but that was just a really good move by Cunningham.
It is raining out there. It has been the better part of the last couple of days. Now he can reverse the 2-2. Makes a one-man miss, but the pursuit was just there to run him out of bounds. Evan Foster leading that pursuit. So Atwell picks up a couple of yards on first down.
Yeah, you're getting a lot. You know, you're getting the design quarterback run, a little bit of everything that we've seen on that first drive work well. Now they're doing just a little bit different wrinkles, but they feel like what they've been doing against the Syracuse defense has worked, so why change it up?
Hawkins just crashes into the defense. Bowls his way for 3. Cordy was there to make the stop. Kendall Coleman also in on the action.
Anytime you get the opportunity to run the ball to the left side of the line of scrimmage, you're going to be running behind Mekhi Becton. Now listen to this for size, 6'7", 369. That dude is a mammoth. It's kind of nice to run the ball behind him.
The size of that guy.
I mean, look at him. You see him on the screen right here.
There, yeah,
he's standing up, and I mean, he's making it easy to look at him right now. But look at that. Just his arm, his leg, everything is massive on that guy.
Suffered a right ankle. You can see the tape on that ankle. Flag down here as Cunningham's flush. He's going to run it. Stiff. Out of bounds at the 40. That'll be a first down if it stands, but let's check the marker.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch run the football, man.
Antoine Cordy, he was the one to receive that stiff arm, but see if that's coming back.
Illegal motion. Offense, number 7. He never got set before the snap. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay third down.
Well, it's not going to stand, but let's take another look at that stiff arm. Sometimes it's just fun to watch people do some stuff that's pretty cool, and why, yeah, you want to break down that arm and continue on outside. Good job.
Cunningham pressure coming up the middle. He's just going to have to throw this one away. Just threw it away. Yeah. Fatu Melifonwu was trying to keep that one in bounds to make the pick.
Yeah, and he's on the ground again. And this time it's up the middle, and Lakeem Williams, talk about him, he's probably one of the biggest hitters on the team. He's the guy who uses his speed to his advantage, and it was interesting. We're talking to Steve Sternard, and he doesn't always take on blocks the right way, but he always finds his way to the ball. His 90-plus tackles on the season, leads the team. Good pressure on the quarterback on that last play.
King for the second time, end over end. Take a bounce at the 10.
Wow, they're going to mark it at the 1.
They are going to mark it out of bounds at the 1-yard line. That is a perfect punt. 52 yards and out of bounds at the 1-yard line. A hometown kid on senior day. Making good. Syracuse starting deep in their own territory. TJ would have been proud of this. Players Lounge here at his alma mater, Louisville. Lamar Jackson. We're going to get a closer look at that a little bit later. Syracuse in their own end zone. Harris Just trying to get him a little breathing room here, and does.
Pretty unconventional play back at your own half-yard line. Faking a toss and a slow developing play, but it worked out. Get out of their own end zone.
O'Neal. He tries to keep that hole to open up. He's able to get a couple in there. It'll bring up 3rd and 1. A long one for the Syracuse team. Clock winding down inside of 7 minutes in this first half. You know, Syracuse would love to pick up a first down here, if nothing else, to avoid giving the ball back to Louisville at about midfield.
Yeah, and you can see big number 5, Chris Elmore, Rhinos back in the game, playing fullback, lead blocker position.
Sharvey and Howard. Howard gets the carry. He's going to be close. Nick Okeke was there to make the stop for Louisville. Let's see where they mark him. Right at the 11. It looks like it's going to be enough for the first. And it is.
Yep, they hurried up back on the line of scrimmage. They're ready to snap this whenever the whistle blows. It's so fun looking at number 5 for that 290-pound fullback.
Rhino. Coach Babers says he can play offense, he can play defense, he can live on both sides of the river. Howard. Looked like he had a lot of room, but it closed up pretty quickly, just 4 yards. C.J. Avery and company bring him down.
Yeah, Babers says it's like going on a safari through his team. You got the elephants with the O-line, the hippos with the D-line, got giraffes at wide receiver, but there's only one rhino.
He looks like a rhino.
He looks exact. I mean, he just not necessarily like his face, but like just when he has his helmet on, and look at that the rhino horn in his face mask popping right up, covering his nose. Really cool, and he has this really cool segment where he highlights some of his teammates.
Tristan Jackson here.
Wow.
Makes the catch. Jackson is this big play receiver that Tommy DeVito loves to find down the field. Now he's limping a little bit here. Jackson's going to need some help. But this transfer from Michigan State has been explosive all year.
And Marlon Character is covering him man-to-man.
Injured player.
And once Tommy DeVito sees that man-to-man coverage, he puts the ball up there. And you see why they're so excited about Tommy DeVito. The placement of that football right in the pocket of Tristan Jackson's arms.
He runs off under his own power, so that's good. Now he's trying to shake it off, but he's in obvious pain.
Yeah.
Grabbing behind that right knee. Big play for Syracuse, though, gets them out from under the shadow of their own goalpost. Now they're in Cardinal territory. DeVito pumps. Going to the end zone, has a wide open receiver. Made the catch. That's Taj Harris. And they're going to rule him out of bounds. We'll take another look at this one. That was close. I thought he might have been able to get a foot in. Let's check it out.
He was wide open. He ran a double move on the outside.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. 2nd down.
Yeah, I think he wasn't able to keep that left foot in. That, the right foot right there, that's the one they're going to have to look at, that right foot, whether it was still in bounds before he made the catch. I don't think it was.
Yeah, and they ran a double move along, a route that kind of takes a long time to develop on the outside, and they haven't been able to do that much because the offensive line hasn't held up. Good to see them able to hold the ball and protect the quarterback long enough to get that play off.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. The previous play is under further review.
You saw Dino Babers looking at the official. Syracuse wants to go fast. It actually worked in their favor there that the officials were able to say, hold up a second. Let's take a look at this one to make sure. Our replay official, Joe Ryder, is taking a look at it right now. It's the right foot. Now it's in bounds. Does it stay in while he makes the catch? I think it's airborne there, don't you?
Yeah, I agree with you, Chris. I think that it leaves the field, and yeah, right there, it's off the ground. Great shot by our camera crew. Right there, toe leaves the field of play and comes down with that left foot out of bounds. So that'll be incomplete.
Good idea to have another look at it by our officiating crew and Joe Ryder, our replay official. And I think the correct call was made on the field.
He was wide open on that play, and let's look how it happened. He's up here at the top of your screen. He comes in and fakes in, runs his double move on the outside, and the protection up front allows this to happen. Right there, he goes past the defender, and just Tommy DeVito leaves him a little bit too far outside. But a clean pocket for Tommy DeVito is not something he's been used to, and I guarantee he is happy about it.
The ruling on the field of an incomplete pass was confirmed. So it'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Orange. Keep an eye on Tristan Jackson, see if you can see him trying to get well over on that Orange sideline. We've got Cameron Jordan in the game right now, closest to us. DeVito looks to throw, pressure coming, he'll be sacked. Avery and Caban got him. And that protection finally broke down around DeVito.
Yeah, and Monte Caban, number 53, is at the interior line position. And a really good job of him by using his arms and getting skinny through the hole. Big sack. He's a guy, he's one of the 5th-year seniors honored on senior day. And he was so helpful to this defensive coaching staff, getting the teammates to buy in. See right there. Actually, the usual trend for this Syracuse offense.
3rd and 20. DeVito looking to the sideline and had to throw that one away. Intended for Aaron Hackett. So after the long pass play from DeVito to Jackson to get him into Cardinal territory, the Orange go backwards and they'll be forced to punt.
Yeah, it's disappointing that they don't come away with points, but in terms of the outlook at the beginning of that drive, starting from their own half-yard line, they're able to drive it into Louisville territory, and now a punt should hopefully pin Louisville deep and flip the field position battle with an 11-point game. That's very important.
Rajay Burns back to receive this off-breaking punt. He's just going to look to try and go to the side of the 10. Burns makes the fair catch at his own 6. That's where the Cardinals would take back over when we come back here at Cardinal Stadium. 3:47 left in this first half. Louisville up 11. Starting this drive deep in their own territory. Mikael Cunningham's been pretty good tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, 2 touchdowns through the air. First one, the quick pass to his tight end, Marshawn Ford, and then the second one, the deep ball to senior Seth Dawkins. And it's always a threat that he can do it on the ground. He used his legs so well today, and you get a little injection. Mikael Cunningham direct into the veins.
Hassan Hall picks up a couple, making 4 on 1st down. Take a look at Mikael Cunningham's numbers. A couple of touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground.
Almost 9 yards per rush attempt.
0 picks, too. When you think about the season he's had, 14 touchdowns and just 3 interceptions.
Yeah, he's done such a good job, and protecting the ball is one of the key reasons why he's in playing.
No one's going to catch him. Don't mess with my tutu, Mark.
Meaning that dude, the Roadrunner, is gone. Don't mess with my tutu. Tutu Atwell gets behind everybody. Well, we need to update those stats because now Mikael Cunningham has a lot more yards. There you go. A lot more yards and even 1 more touchdown pass. Tutu Atwell just been outstanding playmaker for this team, and fantastic game already today.
Chalafu makes it 28-10 Louisville. And Tutu Atwell, young man out of Miami, Florida, is explosive.
All right, just walking off the line. Bye-bye. That's what they call a bang 8 route. You start up a little post, and about 12 yards, you just go straight for the goalposts. And look how Mikael Cunningham just leads him up there. That was a miscommunication on the left side of the screen, but he just floated it up there. And how about that? They have a 1,000-yard rusher and a a 1,000-yard receiver. That has not been done here since 1999. And with that last catch, Tutu Atwell enters those records books. Those are some scary dudes. And guess what? Tutu, he's a sophomore. Davion Hawkins is a redshirt freshman. Cale Cunningham's a redshirt sophomore. That is not something that opposing coaches are going to be very happy about going into next year and the year after.
Well listed 5'9", 153 pounds. Offensive coordinator Dwayne Ledford said we were just marveling at how small he was and how many plays he made all summer long coming into this year. Ends up the year on the return. Actually, looks for something to break open, and it still does on his feet. Finally wrestled that out of bounds after a nice return to the 36-yard line. Coming up, State Farm halftime report. Plenty of coastal implications in that game between Virginia Tech and Pitt. We'll show you what's happening. And in Blacksburg, can Wake bounce back? They've got a game tonight following us, immediately following us. Virginia and North Carolina, no issues for those two teams as they play out a conference before big rivalry games next weekend. State Farm halftime report down, and the fellas back in the studio going to bring it all to you. So what do you do here? 2:55, you're Syracuse. Down after that big explosive play by 18. Got to make something happen here. Get a little momentum going into the half, don't you?
Yeah, you do. You started working backwards after that big play with the penalty on the last drive. And I think what you want to do is you just want to continue to do. They're just doing pick up a few yards each play and settle back down.
Guys, right now, this Louisville defense playing without one of their leaders on defense. Kane Pass, he's been out the last 3 series. I'm told it's an upper extremity injury. He is available to come back, but as mentioned, has been out the last 3 series.
Yeah, thanks, Kel Cinder out of Columbus, Georgia. One of their leaders up the middle at that free safety spot. That's big as DeVito here. Ball close to midfield is trying to orchestrate a drive here at the end of the first half. Right at midfield as we get down to the 2-minute mark.
Jargon Howard's another one of those running backs. He had a big game last week, and it was interesting when we were talking to Dino Babers about how he recruited him. He said he went to Columbia, Mississippi, where Walter Payton's from, and the GPS cut off because there just wasn't any data on the maps, no street signs or anything. And I think the best part about the whole story is when he got to his house in the front yard, he had, and you will love this, he had a makeshift weight room in the front yard, stayed out in all weather, a rusty bench press, rusty dumbbells. I know, Cotter, you love to get a little rust on your hands while you're lifting. It means you're doing it right.
Cement blocks as weights, low wheel wells.
Well, he said that I want to get out of this town and bring my family along with me. And he did it by building up his body the right way. So
30-second timeout.
Really interesting story about Jarvion Howard. Good to see him have such success last week.
Minimal gain on first down, so Dino Babers calls a timeout. Don't miss the huddle, our signature football show hosted by Jack Collinsworth, Eric McLean, EJ Manuel, Mark Rick join them. Previewing the weekend slate of games. We'll keep you updated on all things ACC football. Live next Friday at 4 Eastern and Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern right here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app. Dino Babers and company got a 2nd down and 9 here, just over a minute and a half left in this first half in Louisville territory. Got a great kicker, and Andre Schmidt got a big leg, so close to getting into range already. We got a little bit of a swirling wind down here as we look at the flags on the goalposts. A little bit of rain, misty light rain coming down. That might have an impact on Schmidt.
Yeah, the helmets are glistening a little bit of rain on the field, and that could affect footing. But you know, think back, this is kind of where they were on their last drive, where they stalled out, and that big incompletion, a double move on the outside, took a shot. Let's see if they try to take another shot as they line up an empty formation here. The double pass.
Wanted to, Young keeps it. Good with the before being slung out of bounds. All in character. Takes him out, but give him 5 yards.
Yeah, they had a throwback pass last week that was successful, and they come out, and it's very unusual to have your quarterback under center in that situation, but they wanted to make sure he threw a backwards lateral out to his wide receiver, who was then looking downfield. Always risky when you put the ball in a non-quarterback's hands to throw it, but smart play to pull it down. Now they have another shot on 3rd and 4 to pick this one up. Zone pressure up the middle. Running back is up the line of scrimmage.
Flags come down.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That is tough here. 5 yards back, and you still have 2 timeouts left on the screen.
That's one of those rules that when you sub, the defense can sub. And the defense can take a while to do it, especially if they see that clock running down. And that's what Louisville did. They took their time getting guys in the field, caused a delay of game. Pressure again.
3rd and 9 for the Orange. Pressure coming off the edge. DeVito's going to get dropped. Dana Kennard in on the stop.
That's his 2nd sack of the season, and you see a complete bust on the outside by Matthew Bergeron, the true freshman right tackle, but that's because there was that facade of linebacker pressure up the middle. They slid the line of scrimmage, and no one back there to pick up Kennard. Sometimes you say don't miss the layup.
Yeah.
When you get the quarterback in your sights like that, he did not.
Surprised Louisville not calling the timeout here with over a minute left to go in the first half. Get the ball back. He's going to put it straight up in the air. Look to kill it inside the 20. He will do just that. Ball goes out of bounds at about the 10. 41 yards on that punt. No return. That's exactly where Louisville will take over. Tomorrow on the ACC Network, we'll have the #1 women's team, the #2 men's team in a college basketball doubleheader. Sabrina Ionescu and top-ranked Oregon square off against Syracuse at the Carrier Dome at 4 o'clock. Then, 2nd-ranked Louisville hosts the Zips from Akron. Both games are also available on the ESPN app. Ionescu, what an amazing career she has had at Oregon. If you haven't seen her play, folks, I suggest you tune in. One of the top women's basketball players, not only this year, but in any year, and you can see her numbers. We're talking about history here in terms of the type of career she's had out there at Oregon.
Yeah, you talk about some of these players for Louisville playing bigger than they are. She's one of those, and she does such a good job getting rebounds, too, from that guard position. She's really a dominant player.
Louisville content to keep it on the ground here, starting deep in their own territory. Hawkins picking up 10 yards on 1st down to move the sticks, but just 28 seconds left. Feeling that offensive coordinator Dwayne Ledford and Scott Satterfield are just going to run this clock out and take an 18-point lead into the half. Driven out of bounds. No gain on the play, but it does stop the clock.
It does stop the clock, and
you're gonna
I don't know.
Run out the clock. Just run out the clock.
Yeah.
Why risk getting your quarterback even hurt on a play like that?
Exactly what was in my brain, Chris. Anytime you get those tackles around the ankles on the sidelines, you just get worried if they're going to come up limping or not. The big boy package in the game, I think they wanted to just see if they could get a deep ball behind the defense, but Syracuse does a good job of staying deep with this one. Just be a run handoff up the middle.
Inside. Brought down after a gain of about 7.
Timeout. Syracuse, their 2nd of the half. Be a 30-second timeout.
Now Dino Babers is saying, well, if I can force him to punt, I'm going to put a little pressure on that punter and make something happen. Why not?
Yeah, might as well. You know, with going out of bounds on that 1st down play, and you're left with 2 timeouts, you can potentially stop them on 3rd down, force them to punt, and you never know what can happen with a punt with a little bit of rain and water on the field. Now if Louisville picks this one up, the only problem is that you still have Javion Hawkins on the field, and you still have Tutu Atwell on the field, so giving one more shot to this offense be dangerous.
Tutu Atwell electrified this crowd. 90 yards. A pitch and catch from that man right there, Mikhail Cunningham, just moments ago. Break this game open. State Farm halftime report coming your way in just 15 seconds. Hawkins gets free, gets out, runs up his own man.
Oh boy. Really good tackle by Jordan Davis on the play.
His tight end, his teammate.
Timeout, Louisville.
Now Louisville calls a timeout.
30-second timeout.
Oh, bummer, dude. Well, that might be Jordan Davis's first tackle of the year. Jordan Davis has actually been a really important part of this team in terms of blocking. Just that time ended up blocking his own guy.
A congratulatory high five from
look,
Syracuse. Look at that.
You tackled him.
Did you know Jones?
Oh, look, they're laughing about it. See, that's the type of thing that'll be fun in the film room tomorrow. Saying, "Come on, man, you hit me harder than anybody else in this field."
Those are the things you laugh about when you're winning.
Exactly.
And you cringe about when you're losing.
But you saw right there the potential, firepower of Louisville's team. We mentioned Dino Babers called the timeout, tried to, just get one more shot at the football, but you never know when these guys can go off. And if it wasn't for the tight end, they've been out now.
So then Satterfield calls a timeout here with 9 seconds, figuring maybe they can get one more play. Now he doesn't have Blanton Creaky, his kicker, who was hurt, so his second-string kicker, Ryan Shalafu, has yet to make a field goal. That's something to consider in this game, and especially here. Cunningham hasn't tried to get it over to Fitzpatrick. He's off target on it, so now with 4 seconds, it's just going to have to be a heave. And Cunningham again taking a hit.
Yeah, he wound up on the ground. A little shoving at the end of the play. Cunningham did a good job of trying to act like he was hit late. You should see Syracuse, they need to back up. The defense needs to get back.
Yeah, there's this fellow wearing number 1 for Louisville.
Yeah.
Pretty much run by anybody on the field. Hawkins. Yardage, but that'll end the half. So an interesting way to end this first half. The half that is very pleasing to the eye for the fans here in attendance in Cardinal Stadium for Scott Satterfield. And that man right there, Mikhail Cunningham, very effective from that quarterback spot. As you can see, 241 yards of total offense, 4 TDRs, and it's a 28-10 advantage for Louisville as we head to the locker room. 2-2. And one heck of a first half as well. Kelsey Riggs is standing by with Coach Satterfield.
Coach, a really impressive first half from your offense. When you see the way that Mikhail Cunningham and Tutu Atwell are playing, you've got to be pretty pleased.
Yeah, they're playing well. A lot of big plays in the first half. The guys are doing a good job connecting the back end. I think our running game's doing good too. I think the second half we'll try to get some more yards in the running game. And then defensively, we've given them some yards, but I think there at the end there, a couple of sacks been big.
Thanks so much, Coach.
All right, thank you.
I don't know, they ran for 161 yards in that first half.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Anytime you try to bring up big plays, he comes back to the run game because that's what
that kind of guy
he's all about. Syracuse will get the ball when we return for the second half.
State Farm halftime report coming up. Mikhail Cunningham responsible for all 4 touchdowns for the Cardinals. They lead 28-10 as we get set to start the second half here in Louisville. Chris Cotter alongside Mark Hertzlick. So you saw Syracuse coming back out on the field. What do the Orange have to do to get back into this thing?
Yeah, they got to start converting on third downs offensively. They've done a good job of getting chunk plays on first and second down, but it seems like every time they get to third down, they have a couple hiccups, get set back, and that's resulted in a couple plays that could have resulted in touchdowns further down the line. And then defensively, they got to stop giving up the big plays. That huge ball to Tutu Atwell was really a thorn in the side of this Syracuse team that had been playing pretty well up until that point.
Yeah, and a really costly turnover, too, on a muff punt. It stopped Louisville defensively. We're getting the football back, and they gave it right back to the Cardinals, deep in their own territory. That led to a touchdown. There's a chance for DeMar Jordan on his 4. Big chance for 130. Still on his feet to the 36-yard line. Nice return by Jordan. Setting up the orange. Kelsey Riggs down on the field. What do you got, Kels?
Well, I just talked to Dino Babers, and he says on offense they're doing some good things, but they need to make some more plays. He said, we're leaving some meat on the bones. We need to make sure we don't do that here in the second half. Defensively, Mark, he said exactly what you just said, that they have given up some big plays. They've got to do a better job containing this Louisville offense.
And leaving some meat on the bone. I think that's part of that third down conversion. They're getting down in scoring range and coming away, having you set up a field goal or not getting points at all.
O'Neal cuts it back. Good run on first down, 8 yards. Russ East brought him down, but a good patient run by Mo Neal.
Yeah, good job on that play by Mo Neal. They've been running the ball well offensively. They need to stick with that. Third and short rather than third and long.
Or second of the short as they convert right here. Dorian Etheridge bringing down Neal, but not before he crosses midfield.
Yeah, the easiest way to convert third downs is not to get third downs. Just keep picking up first downs on first and second.
And looking to go quickly. Good to see 86 Christian Jackson back in the game. He was shaken up in the first half. This will be a loss. This time Neal couldn't even get back to the line of scrimmage before Big G.G. Robinson dropped him.
Couple defensive line stunts up front, exchanging gaps on the movement, allowed them to get in the backfield. See the wide receivers out wide. Look for some passes with the outside.
Neal gets to the outside. Block from Harris. Still on his feet inside the 35-yard line. Tough run by Neal. And got a great block on the outside from Taj Harris.
Yeah, and they self-scouted at halftime. Every time their wide receivers were out wide in the first half, they threw the ball. They came back and ran this one. You see that really good block on the outside by Taj Harris, bringing his running back free. We talked a lot about Louisville's wide receivers getting those blocks. Good job there by Syracuse wide receivers springing their ball carrier.
Play fake to Howard. Harris makes the catch, spins out of a defender, still on his feet. Finally dropped, but not before picking up a first down. Has a few words for Kane Pass, who's back in the game after suffering an injury in the first half himself.
Well, this has been going on for 2 years now. Chandler Jones, number 2 at cornerback for Louisville, and Taj Harris have had a matchup going. And last year, Taj Harris had the best of him. So far in this game, Taj Harris has made some good plays, and it was good to see number 30 back in there with that body slam. That's Kane Pass, who was injured in the first half.
Howard still in a tailback for the Orange. He'll get the carry. Man at the hole. Etheridge. Man, number 17's been all over the field for the Cardinals.
Yeah, and he's keeping his shoulders square, going down the line of scrimmage. Really good job tackling. He's a guy who has really bought in. It took him a while. Earlier in the season, you saw sometimes he lacked effort, sometimes he'd have some loafs, but as of late, he's really coming to his own and led from that linebacker position.
They give inside and nothing doing. That was Jawar Jordan. Rajay Burns brought him down right about the line of scrimmage.
Well, this is another third down situation. They need to convert on these ones. This is what we call a 4-point play. If they convert this and get a first down, they have another attempt at getting 7 points. If they fail, they have to settle for 3. So this play right here can be a 4-point swing on the scoreboard.
Christian Jackson is in the slot. Looking his way. Pressure got to him. Finally had to just throw it away.
Louisville brought pressure and played man-to-man. Number 1 target was taken away with the double team. had to come and look for his second option. Really good coverage on the outside. That was Chandler Jones that time, matched up on Sean Riley, the smaller of the two wide receivers. And you mentioned 4-point play. Holding him there limits to this field goal. It looks like there's a player missing for Syracuse running on the field late. And the clock's ticking down, 5 seconds on the play clock.
They may not get this off. They're not going to get it off. They blow it dead. And flags are on the field, so they didn't get a timeout. Instead, they took the 5-yard penalty.
Well,
that's either an oversight or
I honestly,
Dino Babers has a lot of confidence in Andre Schmidt to say, I'm not going to waste the timeout.
Yeah.
He'll hit it from 5 yards deeper.
Yeah, he probably should. And you see the clock running down, and that's an error by 52, Carlos Federello.
Now it's a 46-yard attempt. Now Schmidt has a season high of 50 and career high of 54, but maybe not in this kind of weather. Schmidt puts his foot into it.
Dude, this guy's
no
good.
Issues.
Wait, what did he do last year?
He won the Groza Award. That's the kicker of the year.
Yeah, we don't need to waste a penalty. We'll just make it a little bit longer for our all-star, all-American kicker. Knocks it through for 3.
Syracuse gets 3 points closer on a field goal from Schmidt. 28-13 our score. The Ohio River there. Beautiful view looking from the Indiana side into Louisville. As we found out on our last couple of trips here to Louisville. Cross that bridge over to Indiana. Some good shopping over there.
Ooh, Bass Pro Shop calls my name every time I'm here. We get lost in there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Santa was seeing some kids.
Yeah, Kelsey getting outfitted for the second time. Cold, rainy weather. This would be an opportunity here for a return by Son Hall. And he might have a good return.
Oh, boy.
Look out! To midfield. Knocked out of bounds after a big return of 70 yards.
Great return, and he does a good job of setting the coverage. He starts up the field and is patient, breaks outside. Huge block on the punter on the outside. Now watch right here at the side of your play.
It was almost an accidental block.
Yeah, I think Hofrichter gets knocked down and then gets a knee to the side of his head.
He's still down, Hofrichter is. And that's bad news for the Syracuse team. Stud punter who also handles kickoff duties for the Orange. We'll get an update on his condition when we come back. Mark Herzlich alongside Chris Cotter and Kelsey Riggs along with us as well here at Cardinal Stadium. Third quarter action. The staff here for the Orange taking a look at Sterling Hofrichter, the kicker, on that last kickoff. Yeah, his shot, he's been down ever since. They brought the card out. And obviously both teams very concerned.
He's going in to make the tackle, and looks like he might have taken a knee to the helmet. And paramedics are doing a really good job of just attending to him. And Hofrichter is a 5th-year senior out of Florida. Both punts and kicks off for this Syracuse team, and he's one of the very few 3-year specialist captains in all of the FBS. And when you talk to the coaches and teammates about him, they have so much respect for him, not only what he does at his position, but how he leads this football team with integrity. And I know these guys are feeling for him. It's good to see him sitting up on that stretcher.
Getting a nice ovation from the fans here at Cardinal Stadium. You're right, it's very good to see him up on his feet and walking off really under his own power. That's a great sign, because you just never know. And obviously the staff, they're always overcautious in a situation like that. So before they move him, they just want to make absolutely sure they know exactly what's going on. Yeah,
anytime there's an injury to that head or neck area, they want to stabilize it first. They saw them brought the card out, testing his range of movement, and really good to see him walk off the field. So, hopefully it's nothing too serious, but anytime you have a head injury, you probably won't see him back in this game. We're just hoping he continues to make recovery, come back next week.
We'll keep our eyes out on Hofrichter, and hopefully we'll be able to get an update on his condition as the night progresses. Louisville, meanwhile, after the big return by Hall, now an opportunity for a score, and they're going to get one. That's Jordan Davis making amends for bringing down his teammate at the end of the first half with a touchdown catch.
Well, we saw his tackling ability in that first half, and now he can go out and catch some balls. That's only his third catch of the entire season. That one goes for a touchdown. Look at his teammates. They are excited for him. Jordan Davis is another one of the seniors that was honored today at a Clear Lake High School in Texas, fifth-year senior. That's his first touchdown catch of the year, and it's so great. I think it's intentional by Scott Satterfield to get these guys the ball who have spent so much of their time this year blocking for their 1,000-yard rusher, Javion Hawkins.
Flew with the point after try.
A little bit of a misdirection on the play too. You know, talk about play action and the effect it has on the defense. The rollout, you see all the linebackers running towards them and just nobody in the vicinity of Jordan Davis for that touchdown.
What do you think of the play call too? Sudden change, and then you had sort of this, you have a long return by Hassan Hall, and then you have a significant amount of time where both teams were focused on the injury to, you know, the kicker on the play, Hofrichter, and you come right out and you go to the end zone.
Yeah, especially when you start the ball where they started. It's almost like you're playing with house money on first down. You want to pick up a few yards, but that's always a spot where you can take a shot because you know you still have second and third down to pick up some yardage. But I think a great play call by Scott Satterfield. I think it was a big time in the game. Just as Syracuse had some momentum going, the big kick return followed by that big touchdown pass.
And that's Mikhail Cunningham's 5th touchdown responsible for in this game, and we're just into the second half.
That's crazy. That's a lot of touchdowns.
James Turner sends it high and returnable. Mackenzie Pierre still on his feet, 40-yard line. They've gotten some good returns in the kicking game to set up their offense. Just the Orange haven't been able to make much out of it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Pierre's been doing a really good job. Physical return man, getting the ball out for Syracuse.
Tonight at 7:30, don't forget about Duke and Wake Forest, our ACC Network primetime matchup. It's presented by Geico. It's also available on that ESPN app. As we're winding down now, just one more weekend of the season before we get to the ACC Championship in Charlotte. Dave O'Brien and the crew will be on hand for Wake and Duke. Got a player down here, Devontae Pete, lining up. I'm sorry, on the other side of that, that's actually Chandler Jones lining up here for Louisville. Looks like he may have just gotten a cramp before they even snapped the ball.
Yeah, he just went up to line up on his wide receiver and lowered himself to the ground. Can't really tell what happens there, but hopefully it's nothing too serious. And right now Syracuse is coming out and they're in a big deficit. They need to put points on the board fast, and they really have one guy who's been able to do that for them, Tristan Jackson, number 86, a wide receiver, and he got dinged up early in the first half. So we'll see if their game plan changes at all, if they go try to look inside to Taj Harris, or what they plan to do.
We just saw Tristan there, number 86. Running up the middle. Powell running, still on his feet. Still on his feet. Mo Neal, impressive. He's only 195 pounds. He refused to go down.
He watch his feet move here, and he gets lifted up. You have two guys lifting him. Evan Adams is lifting him up. Kane Pass is lifting him up. He's off the races again.
He may go. He will go. That was 45 yards in a bottle of lightning.
Well, maybe you get big plays. You don't have to throw to Tristan Jackson. You just hand the ball off to Mo Neal. And,
wow, 2 plays in 36 seconds.
Well, that's how you respond.
Get that touchdown back.
And number 30, Kane Pass, is just left out on an island. Gigantic hole up front by the Syracuse offensive line. And Kane Pass, who was injured earlier in the game, just didn't look like he had a lot of explosion. And Mo Neal was off to the races in for that score.
Schmidt splits the uprights on the PAT. And this is a little bit more like I think we expected at the start of the night. With these two defenses struggling this season, you thought if you could get a little bit of time for Tommy DeVito, Syracuse could put some points on the board. And if they could run the football, they've struggled at times, oftentimes this year, establishing that run. And Mo Neal and company, they're starting to put it together.
Yeah, neither team has been good in terms of stopping the run this year. You know, but I think one thing that we knew was that both teams were going to be explosive. We just didn't know to what extent. And, you know, the explosive nature of Syracuse on the ground, you just saw that from Mo Neal. But, you know, Mikhail Cunningham with counting for 5 touchdowns and big passes to Tutu Atwell and big runs by Javion Hawkins. You're seeing a lot of really good individual play tonight.
With the injury to Sterling Hofrichter on the last Syracuse kickoff, that's going to bring Nolan Cooney, junior from East Rhode Island, to kick off. And it's a low liner. It'll actually bounce out of bounds, and it'll be great field position for Louisville. It's a Louisville offense. That man right there, number 1 for the Cardinals, Tutu Atwell, unstoppable tonight.
Absolutely unstoppable. You said don't mess with my Tutu. Well, guess what? There's no ability to mess with their Tutu. He has been catching the ball short, got a little flip pass in the backfield, some double moves on the outside, and anytime number 1 gets any sort of open space or man-to-man coverage, you're going to him with the football, because anytime he possesses it, his teammates and all of us watching believe that he can make some big plays happen.
Sophomore out of Miami, former teammate, friend of Teddy Bridgewater's, growing up. Look at Atwell, 155 pounds, but speed to burn. So does this guy. Hawkins picks up 9, maybe 10 on the run.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about the change of philosophy offensively for this Louisville team. Bobby Petrino, when he was here, definitely threw the ball more, and it was a West Coast pro-style offense, so a lot more pass attempts. But Satterfield came in with the idea that I want to run the ball first. I want to pass the ball when they show opportunities, and that's led to so many more, not only big plays, but better completion percentage on the passes they do throw.
Pressure coming to Cunningham right in his grill, forced an errant throw to Des Fitzpatrick, and there's you see Cunningham back on his backside.
Yeah, and this Louisville offensive line has done a pretty good job all season. But the differential between when Mikhail Cunningham gets pressured and when he doesn't is drastic. His quarterback rating when he's not under pressure is number 1 in all of FBS at 90.2, but when he's under pressure, it drops down to 6.7. So just the drastic difference, and then he's going to have to work on that to improve his game as he continues to go forward.
The option out to Atwell. Enough to pick up the first down. You saw Lakeem Williams on the play before, just level Mikhail Cunningham.
What I do like about this Syracuse defense right now, though, is, you know, they had a couple plays go against them, and then they get a little bit of a spark by their offense. That Mo Neal big touchdown run. Now this Syracuse defense is kind of feeding off that, making Louisville work for everything they're getting, trying to make it hard for them to drive down the field.
There's Hawkins, still on his feet, breaking tackles. That is a tough 8-yard run.
Yeah, 2 guys, we talk about Tutu a lot and just how undersized he is. Yeah, but Javion Hawkins is not a big guy either. He's 5'9", 182, and you know, he's 3rd in the ACC in rushing yards, and he's behind some pretty good players. I mean, Travis Etienne,
yeah,
and A.J. Dillon. Those are 2 monster running backs.
Yeah.
Those are big guys.
Ahead of a dude at Florida State, too, is pretty darn good.
Yeah, Cam Akers and the little guy, and Javion Hawkins, makes some big first plays like that last one.
Trying to get it to Marshawn Ford, just a little over his head and out of reach. So it'll be 3rd and 2. An opportunity for that Syracuse defense to get off the field. before Louisville can get in the field goal range here.
Louisville's been really good the last 2 weeks on third downs, and usually they've had to go for it on third and much longer than this. They're bringing their big boys into the game, have that 3 back in the backfield look.
Cunningham keeps it, just a quick toss out to Ford. He's going to pick up the first.
Really, really, really good play design and play call. That 3 running back set has been run all game. And then Mikael Cunningham pulls it out and throws it back to Mr. Reliable, Marshawn Ford. He's had such a big night. And I can definitely see this guy, a redshirt freshman, being incorporated in this offense more in the next coming weeks and absolutely next year.
Wakefield in motion. Hawkins high stepping into the secondary. 12 yards and another first.
Oh my goodness. Well, they have everybody on the right side of the line of scrimmage, an unbalanced set, and they just run back the other way. And look at that offensive line move. And there's a little hop over nothing. I think you were just hopping over the yard line. But it worked, right? Oh.
There it is.
Didn't really have a purpose to that, but sometimes, you know, they call him PlayStation. He has a PlayStation control on his arm. And sometimes you press the wrong button. And you just do a hop for no reason. Looks like that's what happened.
Cunningham throwing it into a well-covered end zone. Seth Dawkins, the intended receiver, really had no shot on that one.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at my own analogy. I thought that was pretty good, but yeah, just does something every single week that just makes you feel like you're watching someone play that's almost not human. And Javian Hawkins right there in that run, a spin and a hurdle. It's a really good back.
Close to another 100-yard game. He's got 96 on the day. And he'll get it here. Won't even come close. He'll lose yardage.
Number 10, Javian Hawkins.
Hakeem Williams says, not this time. He's a 3rd and long. This is a position, to the point you just made, Louisville hadn't been in very often tonight.
Yeah, no, they hadn't been in that often tonight. You know, part of the reason they had so many explosive plays throughout this season is because they've been forced to make them. You're forced to have a big play pass on 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13. And this is another situation where they forced their hand in this situation.
The second time in this drive, a golden opportunity for this Syracuse defense now to work their way off the field on the option. Hall. First down at the 12-yard line, 20 more yards on the ground for this Louisville team, and they're over 200 yards passing and 200 yards rushing tonight.
Watch number 60 on the right side of the line of scrimmage. That's Tyler Haycraft, the senior. And you see him get all the way outside. Lead blocking for Hassan Hall.
And Seth Dawkins, too, the senior receiver who spends so much time blocking on the outside, really takes pride in it, and it showed on that play, too.
And we talked to him yesterday, and we asked him, we said, what's it like having so much blocking? I really don't care. I love winning. As long as we're winning, I don't care what I have to do. Let's just get the W.
Hall reverses his field. He'll get to the end zone.
Well, Hassan Hall uses his speed and his agility, but look at this block. Just pins the defense inside. That's Marshawn Ford again. Comes around and logs that outside linebacker and wide open running lane for Hassan Hall for the touchdown. Louisville's piling on the points right now.
Shalafu into the All-State Nets. PAT good. And the Cardinals are just rolling. First it was Javian Hawkins. Now it's Hassan Hall. Finds pay dirt. Today's Aflac trivia question. Aflac. Thank you. Entering today, Louisville had the second best turnaround in FBS this season with 4 more wins than last year. Which team has the biggest turnaround this year in the FBS? I should know the answer to this.
I think I know.
You think you do?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely am.
I'm going to guess Navy, but I'm probably wrong about that. James Turner kicking off high and short for Louisville. This is returnable. Brought down at about the 37-yard line. Aaron Hackett, the tight end, one of the up men for the Orange. Giving Syracuse good field position on this drive. Louisville has answered Syracuse seemingly every time Syracuse has scored to try and get back into this game. And they're just putting this Orange team now in a position where they're just going to have to continue to keep scoring, especially the way Louisville's running the football, because they can run some clock here in the second half.
Yeah, they can, and it just seems as momentum picked up. You know, the last possession, Mo Neal had momentum going his way. Syracuse stopped him early, but then some big play. Here he goes again.
Mo Neal. This is a big play for him. Down close to the 30-yard line. Neither team can really enjoy prosperity once they get their defense out there.
Watch number 30, Kane pass. He's right in the hole. He's hurt. I mean, there's no other way to describe that. He got banged up early in the game. And twice he was right in the hole and just blocked.
This time, Dorian Etheridge has just been all over the place. He's the defensive MVP, I think, tonight for this Louisville team.
I completely agree. He's been physical. He's been fast to the ball. Directed the teammates. He makes a lot of the calls.
Got a flag on the play. Let's check in with Trey Blake. See what he has to say.
After the play, personal foul, illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 49. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
When you make a stop, you force a second down, your team gets behind the chains, and then that penalty by Boozy Whitlow gives them a first down.
Yeah, it's not good. We saw Monty Montgomery get that unnecessary roughness in the first half that led to a touchdown. Another play extending drive.
Howard. He's going to score. And just like that, Syracuse fights their way back. We only had a minute go off the clock.
No, I mean, that's something that's going to drive Brian Brown, the defensive coordinator for Louisville, crazy. All the credit in the world to Syracuse in their run game, but extending the drive with a penalty is so hurtful. And you watch big number 5 lead up through the way, but 28, Jarvion Howard is just walking into the end zone, seemingly untouched.
48 seconds off the clock. Schmidt connects. Their last 2 drives, Syracuse last 2 drives, 36 seconds and 48 seconds. That's how you stay in the game, folks. And Syracuse has done just that.
And they've done it all on the ground, and let's see if Louisville can recapture the momentum when they get the ball back when we come back.
Answer to our Aflac trivia question tonight. Syracuse, the Orange, have the second biggest turnaround this year in FBS. Biggest turnaround? Louisville. Well, I'm sorry, Louisville has the second biggest. Central Michigan. Oh, we had Central Michigan earlier this year.
Yeah, we
did.
We should know that.
We should know that.
We do know that now. That's the best part about it.
Onside kick attempt by Syracuse. Now there's a big scrum. It may take him a while to unpile this one. Jack Fago is down there on the bottom with the Cardinals, and the Orange have it. Well, if you can't stop Louisville defensively, don't let them get the football.
And look who got it. Number 21.
That's Lee Pogba.
And I thought for a second it'd be Mo Neal, the other 21.
It goes. Now the question is whether it went 10 yards before Nolan Cooney, who's kicking off now.
The kick was recovered by the kicking team. The previous play is under further review.
Nolan Cooney is kicking off because Sterling Hoffrichter, who normally kicks off for Syracuse, was injured earlier in this game. So Cooney now is kicking off.
and you need to get right here to this yard line. I'm not sure whether gets there. It kind of looks like a kind of bang-bang play. Now, if the ball does not reach that yard line and a Louisville player touches the ball, it's a fair game. So Fagot could have bumped it with his hand.
It's right on that line. From that angle, Mark, it's hard to tell whether it's before or after.
It really
now,
is.
Let's see if the Louisville player touches it. It's hard to tell whether a Louisville player touched it before Nolan Cooney touched it. 92 is Nolan Cooney. He's the man who kicked it, and he's waiting for it to go 10 yards, which is that line right there. But 2 Louisville players are also right there. And I can't tell, you might be able to tell which hand touched it first.
Yeah, it looks so simultaneous where it looks like Devontae Pete, number 2, reaches out right at the same time Cooney does. And you know, the ruling on the field is that it was recovered by the kicking team. It was really interesting too. It looked like Devontae Pete came down with the ball and had it caressed.
You saw number 21 right there, the other number 21 for Syracuse, Koba.
It just looked like Koba just went in there and ripped it away. All right, so let's maintain that 35-yard line. This is great camera angle, simultaneous action.
And I think it went 10 yards before it was touched, personally. But it's not my decision. It's Joe Ryder. He's the replay official. He's looking at it right now.
Pogba he ripped it out of Devontae Pete's arms.
Trey Blake and his officiating crew talking things over, and on the headset with Joe Ryder, the replay official.
Talk about momentum and the shift that's been going back and forth. And
after further review, there was an illegal block by the kicking team, number 34. He was blocking before the kicking team was eligible to touch the kick. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, and we'll re-kick.
So they're saying Eric Coley was blocking on the play before the kicking team was legally allowed to block. This is him closest to us on the screen.
Here he is right there.
He's running interference before the ball goes 10 yards.
So that's the rule. Before the ball goes 10 yards, you can't block.
The receiving team has to have...
Personally, I don't like that rule because when you're covering a kick and you're running downfield, the only way that you're going to come into contact with someone else is if they block you. You're going to cover the kick.
So with the element of surprise now out the window, Nolan Cooney will line up to kick off again for the Cubes. This time he kicks it deep, which will be returnable by Hassan Hall. A big return last time out. Making another one here. Solid 28 yards out close to the 40-yard line. Good field position for Louisville. So you saw Nolan Cooney kicking off. That's because Sterling Hoffrichter is hurt. Kelsey Riggs has a report on him. Kels?
Well, guys, no official word on what that injury is, but what I can tell you is he is doubtful to return. Spent almost 10 minutes inside the training tent with athletic trainers when he came off the field. Good to see him walk off. Once he actually came out of the tent, did not have his helmet. His teammates immediately walked right up to him. He's a guy that's a 3-year captain here. His coach, Dino Babers, told us this guy is a stud, means a lot to this team, but he is doubtful to return for the rest of this game.
Cunningham, the throw. Couldn't connect with Fitzpatrick, just off his hands. Fitzpatrick's been quiet tonight.
Yeah,
They're all 2-2 in the tight ends.
I mean, we highlighted him a couple times in his big blocks on the edge. That was his first target in the passing game. A little bit too high. He's a big receiver, 6'2". Just unable to come down with that one. Backfield.
Pitch. Hall. That's Hawkins.
There's so much happening behind the line of scrimmage for this Louisville offense. Guys going in all different directions. And it's another iteration of this run game, the triple option. It's a true triple option where you can hand off or you can run the ball to the quarterback and you have a pitch man at the end of the play. You don't see that too often anymore in college football, but really well executed by Louisville on that play.
3rd down and 4 for the Cardinals. Atwell in motion near side. Again on the option. Again, it's Hawkins. Spins his way still on his feet. Now slung out of bounds. It's a 1st down for the Cardinals. Hawkins has had a big night. Freshman rushing record. Another 100-yard game.
Most by a Louisville freshman. That reminds me of another great runner that they had, Lamar Jackson, and he has more than he did. So you're in good company, Javion Hawkins.
Yeah, not by a long shot. Gets another carry here as he trying to bounce it outside. Still on his feet. 30, 25, inside the 20. He'll score. Tack on another 44, Mark.
Well, there he goes. Just when we updated his stats, he goes and does that. We have to redo our whole graphics now. Huge run, big touchdown. And you watch the players on this field. They love blocking for him. They love his success. And I think that that's one of the things that Scott Satterfield did that.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 10. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the kickoff.
Yeah, one of the things that Scott Satterfield did when he got here was really create an unselfish environment. They have a sign on their wall in their weight room. It is that 10 before me. All the other 10 guys in the field deserve the credit before I do. And I know that they feel that Javion Hawkins gets a lot of that, but they do so much to help him get there. Well, Javion Hawkins is going to take it around the right edge, but what I want you to watch as this play develops, remember where number 60 is, senior Tyler Haycraft. He gets working up, gets one block on the right side of your screen. Don't worry, he'll come back in your screen after that spin move happens. Oh, he's all the way downfield. Pancake block on Andre Sisco, the preseason All-American safety. Dwayne Ledford. Coach, oh my goodness, he's an offensive coordinator, O-line coach. They talk about Tyler Haycraft and his ability to lead this team through that offensive line position. That is a real man right there.
Obviously taking advantage of No Shave November.
Look at him. He's pointed up.
He loves that.
Oh, he's pointed up at the Jumbotron. They just showed his pancake block, and his offensive linemen are loving it. Oh, man, great play. And after that penalty after the touchdown, Louisville will be kicking off from the 20-yard line.
Teams have combined for 38 points here in this third quarter. We ain't even done yet.
Look at those two guys. See, this is what football is great about. Those are two guys that, if it weren't for football, might not have ever met. One's from Kentucky, one's from Florida. They come together and they are best of friends and teammates and doing stuff out in the field for each other.
Jordan now, after the 15-yard penalty, in the back of a pile, surges forward to about the 38. And that's where Syracuse now will try to answer. Now they're in a desperate spot. And Dino Babers is in a real desperate spot. If they want to go bowling this year, they got to win out this week and next week, and they got to make a big comeback tonight. Keep those hopes alive.
And you see all the explosives on Louisville, but it seems like Dino Babers just can hand the ball off lately. If you score under a minute in the last 2 drives, you're not out of the game yet. Louisville needs to do a better job of stopping this run game.
To Jordan. Oh, he almost broke it too. It's 6 yards on first down. Burns brought him down, but he was a step away from going to the house. The Orange will want to go fast. Jordan will be brought it down in the backfield. Burns this time didn't wait till he got downfield.
Yeah, Rajay Burns came off the edge, and he's a little bit of a read player coming off the edge. You either go quarterback or running back. He's stuck with the running back the whole way. He's been watching the rest of the game. He saw those big running plays the past couple series, and he just took down the main threat. He's a guy who used to play corner, transferred in, now he's playing linebacker. He also does punt returns. I don't see many linebackers returning punts. This shows his athletic ability.
3rd and 6 for the Orange. Double pass. Jordan pushed back, but he may have reached the line to gain.
Yeah,
He did.
Looks like they're signaling for the chains to move, and I'm just impressed with this Syracuse offense. Continually not giving up, fighting, play to get everybody running to the sideline, and then flip it right up the middle.
Spin move, but a nice tackle by Burns, bringing down Mo Neal.
Yeah, Rajay Burns, another tackle on that play. It's a tough tackle, but he comes in from that left side of your screen and fills inside that gap nicely.
Give again to Mo Neal. Stopped short. This time he won't even get to the line of scrimmage. C.J. Avery brings him down.
Well, you're seeing this Louisville team play downhill. They are selling out for the run. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Tommy DeVito pull the ball out of his running back's pocket, do a play-action play.
We're seeing it right here. Goes out to Harris. Perfect pass for the first down.
We talked about that matchup earlier. Harris versus Jones on the outside. That's their playmaker now. Tristan Jackson's a little banged up. Good comeback. Taj Harris pick up the first down.
Fresh set of downs for the Orange. Play action again. DeVito back to Harris. Goes up again to bring it down. The officials are going to say, hey, got a foot in. Move the chains once more.
Oh, does a good job of getting that right foot down in bounds.
Replay, Neal. Crashes into the line, give him a yard.
Well, what these play sequences are telling me is they obviously want to run the ball. When they need to get a big chunk, they're going to go to the outside to Taj Harris, and he's run 2 comeback routes. So that's all that's doing is setting up Chandler Jones for that double move. At some point late in this game, you're going to see a double move. Taj Harris and Chandler Jones matched up against each other.
Final seconds of this third quarter ticking down. Rhino's in the game. Chris Elmore, number 5. Syracuse doesn't get the play off. They'll blow it dead.
Time expired in the quarter prior to the snap. It's the end of the third quarter.
Tommy DeVito and the Orange couldn't quite get that one off, but they're moving the football here. Down big, though. Got to put this one in the end zone. Twinkle Toes, number 73 there for the Cardinals.
Chris, I've always wanted to know what 6'7", 370 looks like dancing. There it is right there, folks.
I want to know what it's registering on the Richter scale.
Oh, boy.
Entering the fourth quarter, Orange down 22, but driving. DeVito avoids the pressure. He'll put his head down and pick up about 6 yards. Now 3rd and 3. Big third down for Syracuse. Wild third quarter.
Yeah, it really was. You know, so many points in that third quarter, and you see the ground game was a big part of it. Led a ton by Syracuse. So another that big run by Hawkins, but Syracuse just time after time scoring quickly on the ground.
Third down. That's Jordan's going to pick up the first down easily. Give him 13. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 12.
A big pickup. Doesn't seem like Louisville has many answers for the Syracuse run game. I don't know if they have enough time.
Jordan again, inside the 10. Trennell Troutman on the stop for Louisville. We're starting to see some new names and new numbers get involved defensively. I think both these teams really tired on the defensive side, and you saw what we've been dealing with, what we've been seeing up and down the field.
Yeah, you know, it wears out the defensive front, but another guy we're seeing number 38, Jack Spago in for Kane Pass, who's now out with his injury. We thought something might be wrong with him.
Pass score, Tristan Jackson.
Oh, there's definitely a miscommunication on Louisville's side defensively, but good job by Tommy DeVito and Tristan Jackson to expose it and to see it. Looks like on the right side of your screen, you have a defensive back come in the box, and he's supposed to be inside leverage on the wide receiver. Just no one there. Another quick score. Tommy DeVito and the Syracuse offense. They're continuing to score fast, and they're not completely out of this game. 16-point game, now 15-point game. That's a 2-score game.
Schmidt with the PAT. They've gotten it to 15 before. They just haven't been able to close the gap any more than that. It's always been Louisville answering again to extend that advantage.
And Louisville has had a lot of success from their big stars, and tonight is no different. You see Cunningham coming around the quarter for the touchdown. He's accounted for so many touchdowns tonight. That was the one on the ground. And then this huge pass to Tutu Atwell. I mean, we've seen so many explosive plays by him. Unbelievable run by Hawkins to maintain his feet. The big block downfield. Let's see it again. Tyler Haycraft smushes a guy. A lot of smushing going on for these offensive linemen.
Atwell, there's no smushing with Atwell because you got to catch him first, and no one's been able to catch him. Had that big 90-yard catch for the score that you just saw. 153 from Hawkins. Cunningham, 4 touchdowns passing, had 1 on the ground. And now it's Syracuse defensively. Their job, they've got to slow that offensive onslaught and get the ball back to their offense. Here's Hall. Still on his feet, out to the 31. 24 yards on the return. Tonight after Duke Wake Forest, all ACC will have all the scores, highlights, and breakdowns from the day's action on the gridiron. Nobody covers the ACC like we do. 10:30 Eastern, immediately following that Duke Wake game right here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app. Big goings on in Blacksburg tonight also. Virginia Tech trying to set up that battle with Virginia next week. They had the big halftime lead over Pitt. They were able to hang on and win, so that sets it up next week. Virginia and Virginia Tech for the Coastal. Cunningham quickly has to get rid of it, and it's intercepted. That's the defensive stop Syracuse needed.
Andre Cisco, he's been exposed a little bit tonight at times, but he's coming back and making a big pick. He had a pick 6 last week. Here he is at your screen, and watch him just read the play. Comes back with Tutu Atwell, and the pressure up front caused Mikhail Cunningham to just float that ball up there. Good job jumping in front of it. He had 7 interceptions last year as a true freshman. He is just a turnover machine. Last week had a pick 6, follows it up with another interception this week, and kind of walking gingerly on the sideline.
Howard couldn't avoid the first tackler. That was Rajay Burns. just lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, this possession is so important for Syracuse. They've continuously been trying to gain momentum offensively, score after score after score. Tried to get that onside kick recovery to limit Louisville in terms of their possessions, and that's a huge turnover. They can get this one in the end zone, becomes a one-touchdown game.
Howard again. Stopped again by Rajay Burns.
Now we have 3rd and long, but at this point in the game, this is 4-down territory for Syracuse. They have the great kicking game, but they need more points. So this play could just be a quick 5-6 yard play to set up a shorter 4th down. Louisville showing pressure.
Howard out of the backfield. DeVito going to the end zone. No one there, but a Louisville player almost picked. That was Fago who had gotten back into coverage.
Oh, and that matchup that we've been watching, Chandler Jones on the outside versus Taj Harris. Chandler Jones got his hands on Taj Harris early. The ball's in the air, and Fago, who's in for Kane pass, just couldn't come down with that interception. And now we see 4-down territory we talked about.
And you see Clayton Welch in a quarterback for Syracuse. What's going on here?
Timeout. Syracuse, their first of the half.
Well, it's a big play right here and a big call by Dino Babers. He wants time to talk about it with his coaches and his players. We'll find out what he draws up when we come back. Syracuse down 15 here in the 4th quarter, facing 4th and 9, and they're going for it with Clayton Welch at quarterback. They called a timeout, and they're sticking with Welch.
Yeah, interesting decision. Whatever they're about to call, apparently Clayton Welch does it better than Tommy DeVito.
Jordan in motion. Welch to throw over the middle. Not even close.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, looks like they had a receiver open. But just, you know, I don't know why you bring in Clayton Welch.
On a cold night like tonight, he's been on the bench all night long.
It's an underthrown ball. You know, he's working away from his receiver, kind of fading away from the throw, throws off his back foot, and just isn't able to get it there. So, okay, so that's the result of the play. Either way, we talked about the decision. We talked, you know, you could kick a field goal and make it a 12-point game. You still need 2 touchdowns, but not the pressure of getting a 2-point conversion there.
Now you have to stop Louisville once again. That's a good start. Getting him behind the chains. Son Hall loses a yard. Alton Robinson with the tackle.
Yep, Alton Robinson came off the edge. There's good communication there. Mikel Jones kind of tapped Alton Robinson on the backside and said, you go take the dive play, I'll take the quarterback. He did that. Followed him down the line of scrimmage.
You love Robinson's face
love
mask.
it. I mean,
it's like Corey Bacon.
Oh, I was going to say Bruce Smith. Like, that's.
Second and 12. Louisville trying to keep it on the ground. Hall just got tripped up. Andre Cisco got enough to bring him down. It'll bring up a huge 3rd down for the Syracuse defense. Got to get off the field here.
Yeah, you do. You got to get off. And this becomes the dilemma with a 3rd and short like this. You got to take away whoever's in the backfield. Looks like Hassan Hall is going to be the running back. There's just so many threats to cover this Louisville offense.
Cunningham will throw. Pressure comes. Gets it off. And he finds his man. That's Fitzpatrick. His first catch of the night. We got a flag down. Fitzpatrick brought it out to midfield, but let's check the flag.
Pass interference, offense, number 5. 15-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
Mark Dawkins lined up in the slot on that play, and Satterfield unhappy with the call.
And this is right here. That's Dawkins coming in, and wow. Tic-tac call. Satterfield's not pleased with it. Dawkins is not pleased with it. That was a really good play design. You try to run a wide receiver in the face of the defender. Not a lot of contact was made either way. Now you got 3rd and forever.
Try to screen. Hall gets what he can, but it won't be enough to move the sticks. Crowd going to let the officials hear it. The end result is Louisville's going to have to punt the ball back to Syracuse.
And good hustle by the defensive line, chasing down that screen. That's how you have to stop these screen plays. Get someone to set the edge on the outside and chase down from interior defensive line. Great hustle, and
Satterfield still can't figure out what happened.
Sean Riley's back. He had the muff earlier in the game. Explosive returner. See if he can make up for that early mistake.
Wow, since we called Mason King's name, and he gets off a good kick. Riley back to his 16, makes the catch there, but Syracuse has a long way to go. Tomorrow on the ACC Network, we'll have the #1 women's team and the #2 men's team in a college basketball doubleheader. Sabrina Ionescu and top-ranked Oregon square off against Syracuse at the Carrier Dome at 4 o'clock, and then second-ranked Louisville hosts Zachary. Both games are available on the ESPN app as well. Clayton Welch staying in the game now for Syracuse, and you know, maybe Tommy DeVito got hurt. We just didn't see it. I didn't see anything where he got hit hard, where he came out holding something, his arm or his wrist or anything. Seems to be walking fine on the sideline.
Yeah.
I don't want to assume that he isn't hurt, but Dino Babers and Mike Lynch, offensive coordinator, going with Welch. Now on the screen pass. Not a lot of room, but making something happen, making a lot happen is Jordan. Midfield. He may go the distance. He's just stepping out of bounds. Marlon Character just ran him down at the 3-yard line. That's 81 yards on that screen pass. What is going on out there?
Oh my gosh. True freshman Jordan just took this screen pass, and he should have been tackled behind the line of scrimmage, and right there a missed tackle by Rajay Burns, and then just you see the lack of effort on the edge by Louisville's defense. Starts stumbling and wobbling towards the end, but this time, I mean, there's a really fantastic play. You've seen these running backs, whether it's catching the ball or getting handed off in the backfield.
Ruling on the field is that the runner stepped out of bounds at the 3-yard line. The previous play is under further review.
They may be taking a look at this to see if he stepped out earlier than the 3-yard line. And we'll do that during this break. When we come back, we'll let you know what the replay official sees. Replay officials here looking to see if Jahar Jordan stepped out of bounds well before the Louisville 3-yard line, which is where he's marked right now. This is the foot that they're looking at. It's this right foot coming up, not on this step, but it should be the next one. We didn't get to see it on that play, but it looked like there was enough green to where that the call is going to stand as called, and it will stand as called.
But just the effort play on this by Jordan to get down the sideline. Right there you see the heel in green in between the heel and the sideline, and just tightrope tiptoeing along the side. But just, I mean, that is a pure effort play by a true freshman, knowing that they need to have something explosive happen. Great effort.
Joe Ryder still in consult with Trey Blake, our referee. Joe Ryder, our replay official tonight, has gotten some work in. Everybody's gotten some work in tonight, man. This has been a wild affair.
After further review, the runner was out of bounds at the 3-yard line. It'll be first and goal at the 3-yard line.
Stands as it was called initially on the return. Howard now in the game for Syracuse. They're going to bring in bigger back, Clayton Welch, again at quarterback. First and goal. Give to Howard, met at the line of scrimmage and driven back. Dorian Etheridge.
And Dorian Etheridge is just playing a physical brand of football. He's one of the guys that has really been solid on the inside for Louisville. So many yards given up in this second half on the ground. Good stop there.
Clayton Welch in for Tommy DeVito at quarterback. Jarvie and Howard still at that tailback spot.
Ooh, looks like...
No, Welch is going to keep it, try to get the pylon, and does.
Oh, they're going to call holding on the outside.
Yeah, that late flag just coming in.
Gosh, and I really don't like it.
Holding, offense, number 86. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
That's a huge call. Tristan Jackson on the outside.
Watch right here. Tristan Jackson sees his quarterback's about to run. Yeah, he does hook that arm right there. And second
look. He didn't have to do it. All he had to do was just stand in the way.
Yeah. I didn't like it initially because I didn't see that backside arm, but that's, you know, that's the right call. Again, another penalty, something to set Syracuse back.
Second down and goal now from about the 12.
And the man on the outside, the receivers.
O'Neal with the carry. Maybe gets a yard. This Louisville defense now starting to bow up a little bit.
Third down now, and now with 8 minutes left in the game. They already said last time they were going to go for it on 4th down. Seems like it must be 4-down territory again.
The clock winding inside 8 minutes.
Some real weird snaps. The offensive line is not on the same page.
False start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And that was Aaron Service, the left tackle.
And he's new at left tackle. He's had his hand on the ball for most of the season, being a center. And you've seen some snaps be a little bit early by Carlos Federello, who's new at center, and then you saw a false start there.
You also have Clayton Welch now, hasn't taken any snaps prior to the previous possession for Syracuse in this game. Welch underneath, hits his receiver, but not even close to where Syracuse needed to get. Aaron Hackett on the catch, but he's going to be brought down at the 13-yard line. 4th and goal. Welch looking to the sideline, and Babers looks like he's going to keep him out there.
Man, I mean, Clayton Welch is a guy who spent 2 seasons at Butte College, where Aaron Rodgers went to school, and big plays for Pitt earlier in the year, but going into the fire, another false start.
Another false start. The few people that are here at Cardinal Stadium are making some noise.
False start. Offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
This time it was Taj Harris on the outside.
I don't know if you think about kicking this. I mean, now that you have so far to go, but staying out there, and you got your backup quarterback on the field.
Just 3. Welch underneath. Can he get into the end zone? Cannot. Taj Harris on the catch, but he's brought down inside the 10, and Louisville takes over. The Orange denied the end zone once again. Cardinals still up top. Well, impressive for Virginia Tech defensively today, setting up the battle with Virginia next week. Coastal on the line. A year, a trip to a bowl game potentially on the line for Syracuse. Got to find a way to come back, and they got to get this Louisville team off the field right now. And the Cardinals are going to try and do the opposite. They're going to try and run Javian Hawkins and Hassan Hall for first downs.
Yeah, they want to run it over and over again. And you know, we talk about Scott Satterfield as potential ACC Coach of the Year candidate, but you know what Justin Fuente's done at Virginia Tech as well.
That team was in disarray after getting blown out by Duke.
Absolutely, and they just came back and have been nothing but outstanding at this latter part of the season. And Bud Foster's last year, back-to-back shutouts. That's hard to do once, nonetheless twice. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup, Virginia versus Virginia Tech, to decide that Coastal.
Yeah, I like talking to Justin Fuente last week when we were there in Blacksburg. He put it all on himself, saying that their rough start this year was on him. He changed a few things, and the team, you know, got on his back, and they've ridden this thing now to an opportunity to take on Virginia next week for the Coastal Championship and a trip to Charlotte to play Clemson for the ACC title. First down for Louisville, so that's going to burn some more clock.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, Chris. The reason you really like him is because you saw him on Friday in the weight room for an hour and a half doing a gun show, working those biceps and triceps.
He's at the arm bar.
Yeah, he tried to get in on that. The more first downs Louisville picks up here, the more clock runs. Getting down close to within 5 minutes.
This will be a big run, too. Hawkins picks up 4 on first down.
See, Javian Hawkins really utilizes that juke into a spin move. One thing you have to do when you're a running back doing that, you have to make sure you protect the ball, because anytime you start spinning, the ball tends to get away from your body. So right now, holding on to that football and not turning the ball over is going to be the #1 priority. Gaining that extra yard, maybe #2.
He's got 167 and a touchdown on the night. We'll get another shot here. Just falls forward, another first down. Tonight, 7:30, immediately following us. Duke and Wake Forest, our ACC Network primetime matchup presented by Geico. It's also available on that ESPN app. So stay tuned. Not even close to being finished with ACC football today. Throughout the rest of the night, they'll give you updates on some of the other teams in action earlier. You had Virginia and North Carolina going out of conference. Boston College and Notre Dame. Another first down for Louisville as they try and burn this clock. Hawkins. Give him 8 on first down. Lakeem Williams brings him down, but this is exactly what Coach Satterfield wanted to do on this drive.
Yeah, and see Syracuse defense getting a little bit tired. Just not as much burst off the line of scrimmage, not as much chase to them. These guys have played a lot of snaps and, you know, continually having to stop these playmaking receivers and backs. It's a tough task. I mean, it's a tough task in the beginning game. It's even tougher when you're tired.
Kel Cunningham content to let this play clock wind down inside of 5 seconds before snapping at Hawkins. Still on his feet past midfield. 40, 30. Knocked out of bounds inside the 20. He has gone well over 200 yards on the night.
Just another explosive play by Javian Hawkins. And he uses the speed, but he just follows his big offensive lineman, barely even touched, until he gets all the way downfield. And the surge up front on that left side of the line of scrimmage with Mekhi Becton and Caleb Chandler, Cole Bentley. Good cutoff block on the backside by the right guard, Robbie Bell. There's a lot of thanks to go out, especially with Thanksgiving coming up next weekend. Javian Hawkins is going to do something special for that offensive line.
Hawkins again. Stutter stop move. Picks up 4 more. Last time a Cardinal went over 200 yards rushing was Lamar Jackson 4 years ago against Texas A&M. Hawkins has over 230. What a night.
Yeah, Syracuse is giving up the second most yards per game rushing in the ACC, and Scott Satterfield anticipated that they could have some success running the ball. I think didn't really expect 200 yards for just one player, but they're going to live with it.
Tutu! I've said it before and I will say it again. Do not
mess with my Tutu. Ah, that's the line of the night. Well, you can't mess with him, and the effort is not ceasing on this Louisville offensive side of the ball. Good play fake, and then you get the ball in number one's hands, and he is not going to be denied another trip into the end zone. How about Mikhail Cunningham? He has provided so much for this team, throwing the ball, running the ball. Not everything has to be a deep shot down the field. He just sets up so much for this offense and does it through the hands and feet of number one.
2 touchdowns for Tutu. Cunningham, 6 TDRs, all cards. Cardinals racking up over 600 yards of total offense and 56 points. No secret and no surprise that the 3 stars of the game on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, just so much speed. Speed kills in the game of football, and these guys have been laying a licking on this Syracuse defense all night. 5 touchdown passes.
Career high 5 touchdown passes.
1 rushing. Can't say enough about these guys and how well they play. And I know, talked to Mikhail, and he said, you know, we're going to go out there and do it for our seniors. You've seen a lot of seniors have a lot of success. Those guys are performing, getting a win for their crew that led them through that transition of head coaches and, you know, did so much. We've seen Tyler Haycraft, offensive lineman, senior, making some key blocks. Jordan Davis, the tight end, 5th-year senior with a touchdown catch, and Seth Dawkins, the big touchdown catch early. So, you know, it's been a really good night for this senior class.
We got Louisville at Kentucky next week, and then they will stand by to hear their destination for bowl season, which could be a really nice end of the season trip. This will be win number 7. They beat Kentucky. That's 8-4 on the year. And potential to win 9 games in a bowl game this year in Scott Satterfield's first year.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, so much progress gets made week to week with this team. And when you have something so new and so raw like Scott Satterfield has, you expect to see some improvement throughout an entire season, but every 7 days it seems like they get better at one thing or the other. And this is no different this week. They just have been really efficient offensively. Defensively, have struggled a little bit in the run game, but come up huge with some big stops in the red zone.
Outside. Rajay Burns brings him down inbounds. Clock continuing to tick. First down will temporarily stop the clock. They'll roll it once again, and Syracuse doesn't have to snap it. Most likely will not. Dino Babers will let this clock wind down, and Syracuse bowl hopes will end here on this turf at Cardinal Stadium for this year.
Louisville has brand new facility, brand new locker room that will host a big party when they get in there celebrating this huge victory over Syracuse. Ah, look at that sign. There you go. Party in the locker room. All right, Tutu.
It'll be a big party tonight for the seniors as these 2 coaches embrace at midfield. Senior day here in Louisville. 27 in this senior class. Helped to orchestrate one of the big turnarounds in all of college football this year. A team that was in disarray last December. Scott Satterfield brought over from App State. turn him into a winner instantly. Now 7 wins on the year. They'll travel to Lexington next weekend to take on Kentucky. And then, as I just said, they're going to go bowling. Remains to be seen where they go, but they could have a really nice trip.
Yeah, and, you know, bowl's a bowl, and just to be able to extend the season, that's, you know, one thing big for a lot of these seniors. They get to play another game of football, and Scott Satterfield came over, brought so many coaches with him. He brought his philosophy, his way of coaching, and this Louisville team has bought in a big way. And a win like this tonight makes them buy in a little bit more and go even further, and they're going bowling.
An impressive night for the Stars. Cunningham, Hawkins, 2-2. All cards. They win 56-34.